Hey.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Hellion Art Show. That is my promo show over here on Moi, obviously, my YouTube channel. What am I talking about? Welcome. Hello, I see a lot of regulars already in chat. Hello, Mark DeMuth, CJ. Oh, Michael Rushbrook. Wonder who is that?
Yeah.
Hello.
Wonder who that guy is.
It looks familiar.
Yeah.
Andy Go. Hello, Chris MJW. What's up, Snuggy? Down Goes Solo is also here. Hi, what's up? Down Goes Solo was at the art auction on Saturday and absolutely slayed as usual. Thank you so much, Down Goes Solo, for being there. Ailey, hello, Victor. John the Voiced, hi. Hutzel, hey, buddy, what's up? Cole Majid, Doug209. All our regulars are here. That's awesome. I saw Vaughn Coleman. I'm calling Coleman now. Here you go. And Maromi's also here. Thank you for the links, my mods. Welcome. You guys are amazing. So we are here today. In case this seemed kind of confusing because I haven't done this before, because it's so my comic series is Fiendish, and I have been the writer artist on the series until now. I wrote and draw both book 1 and 2, but my current project, the current chapter in Fiendish is Fiendish 2.5 Survivor, and this is the first time that I wrote the story and did the layouts, but the art was actually done by someone else, and that someone is Michael Rushbrook over here. So today I'm actually interviewing Michael, and I'd like to get to know his background, influences, some of his other projects, where he's going with his art career and his creative career in general. And I thought that would be pretty cool because I was super impressed with his work on 2.5, and I want you all to get to know him as well. He's been on the show before, but kind of for draw streams and hangouts. This is just to talk about Fiendish 2.5 and to get to know Michael a little better. So hope you guys can join me today. And also Jake, who's the colorist on 2.5, is supposed to be here. He said would be here, but he's not. So he can just pop in whenever he feels like waking up, I guess, over in England land. Yeah. So take your time, Jake.
Come on, Jake.
Yeah. Take time. Yeah, hello. Hi. Thank you very much for the links. All right, Dan Genovese is here. Hello. Oh, you
How's it
guys
going,
are so
Dan?
many people already. It's like 5 a.m. there. Well, Jake doesn't sleep or anything. Or he doesn't have a normal schedule. Yeah, and I told him we had a show.
And even your last show, he was like, "Oh man, is it this week?" So yeah, he knows.
Yeah, well, he gets his days mixed up sometimes. Anyways, hello, it's 3 a.m. No, I refuse. No, hold on. All right. So without further ado, I'll pull up the campaign and everything. But while I'm doing that, why don't you let everyone know what's your background and how did you get to follow this path of being a comic artist?
Oh, okay. Well, first, thanks for having me. It's really good to be here. Watch your streams every time it's on. So, but
thank you.
Yeah. But really, how I got started was heavily influenced by my older brother, who is a really talented artist himself, and I've been around like the indie comic scene, here locally since I was like 12 years old, and watching my brother and a bunch of other local artists publish their own comic books. So I fell in love with comics due to my brother. He bought comic books, everything from 80s and 90s action films, video games, manga, anime, all that stuff helped influence me wanting to draw. So I just picked up a pencil and just kept going nonstop. So, and then just kept up with it later in life. Went to the design school, got my degree in graphic design, and actually a lot of the stuff I learned, because I'm mostly a self-taught artist, and a lot of the stuff I took with me learning stuff with comics, I implemented in my graphic design, because I do magazines and won lots of awards. I'm multi gold national winner in the PMAs, which is Parenting Media Association Awards, because I did custom illustrations for family magazines. And
Okay. I
yeah,
have no idea
so
what that is, but so
yeah,
you
it's
do graphic design and kind of editorial illustrations is what you
yes,
originally started out.
yes, a lot of it, and did some work, commercial artwork for like the Nashville Stampede. As a matter of fact, I got that right here. I worked on coloring books and stuff like that.
Oh.
And so what it is, it's like a lot of the writers who do all this bull riding, I turned them into superheroes,
Mm-hmm.
and they loved it. I helped on the design team with their logo, and what I found out about this was really cool is Marvel Comics was showing it off during a press conference in New York because they wanted to do some cross promotion. So I was like,
Really?
yeah, my
Ooh.
supervisor told me, he's like, hey, Marvel's showing off your work. I was like, oh, okay,
Ooh,
that's actually
yeah.
kind of nice.
Yeah,
I'm not
that
really,
looked clean. Very
yeah,
nice.
yeah, but yeah, it's uh and uh saw you on CG. But as a matter of fact, I saw you on Dan Fraga's what is it, his Fragtober?
Oh yeah, Fragtober,
Yeah,
forever ago. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and then
That was fun.
and at the time I was working on my own fantasy book called Dark Moon Saga, and then I saw you was doing Fiendish, and I was like, I was just immediately hooked. So just
Oh, thank you.
just kept up with everybody in you know indie scene, and yeah, that's about it so far. So
Awesome. And then you just fell in with us rowdy bunch and now you're here.
yeah, pretty much.
That's how that
Yeah,
happened. Well, that's how it happens for all of us, huh?
yeah, really. But
Cool.
yeah, as far as like my comic background, and again, it's mostly because I've been around my older brother. I think I got a couple here. Like this was his book when this is like back in '93. Um,
Mm.
him and other artists did, an anthology, and then this is his comic right here.
Oh wow. That long
Character,
ago.
his character
Oh, it's
Wolf.
uh-huh.
So yeah, and he's a
Nice.
fantastic artist. I wish I could get him out of retirement, but um, but
Cool.
being
That's
around
so
that,
sweet.
yeah, but being around that process of seeing how comics work and stuff like that, and all the rejections from like the big two and stuff like that influenced me to like, okay, what do I need to do to make sure that I'm tip top? So I just practice my craft. I draw really fast because I've heard that that's an industry standard. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You do draw fast. That's true.
yeah.
And
So
it's honestly, yeah, you manage to. That's something that I think all comic artists aspire to, and
mhm.
I think most people can draw fast, but it's a skill to draw fast and still have your work look good, especially with sequential pages. So yeah.
Yes. So um, with all that, a lot of other artists influences me. Because started out with Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Rob Liefeld, the greats. And then along the line, because I'm a manga and anime fan, I wanted to mix that in. And I didn't think it was possible until I saw Joe Mad do X-Men. And I
Hmm.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I can do this because I had a bunch of Dragon Ball Z manga sitting on the side. So I combined the styles and to what my style is today. Just
Hmm.
refined it over the years. So
I can see that. Yeah, I think I didn't. I mean, I'm not as familiar with American comic artists. I didn't grow up here, but I know Joe Mad has a bit of a manga style. It doesn't look
mm,
that way to me unless I like really look for it because it's like still very American. But for
mm,
your work, I've told you before, your work reminds me a lot of Arakawa, who's the artist of FMA, who's one of my favorite
mm,
manga, and that's what I latched onto. I actually didn't. I didn't hire you because like you kind of change your style to look like Fiendish when you worked on 2.5, which is really impressive. But
Mm,
that's not what I expected. I hired you like kind of. I liked your original style because you kind of drew like FMA, and I'm like, well, this is perfect for 2.5 because 2.5 is a
mhm.
flashback to when the characters are younger. So I
Yes.
think a style that looks that's a little different from mine, but still kind of fits the kind of half
Mm.
manga, half American comic style. It was really perfect. But you kind of found like a middle ground. I really love that you got like all the textures in and stuff. So I'm really impressed.
Yeah, and it was important to me to it needed to feel fiendish because a lot of just growing up, see a lot of comics when it hands off to another artist or something else, and then kind of disrupts the feel. So I was like, no, I gotta let me add some texture to it, and you know, but
Hmm.
like Octo back there, that's just all me. That's I don't know why I'm leaning onto him so much. When I saw that character, I was like, oh man, he's so cool. I was like, that's
It's, wait, like fun story. So
yeah,
guys, before I even hired him for 2.5, I first noticed your work with chapter 2, Fiendish chapter 2 fan art contest, and your
yeah,
piece was my favorite. And between that time, that was like what a fan art contest ended like November 22 or
mm,
something, and I took a few months because I wasn't sure what to do with 2.5. I had already written, and between that time, I knew 2.5 would be Casimir's backstory. We would have like that hunter guy that's in the background of this cover right here. That was his old hunting master. And I dropped a little cameo of Oxo, that's the hunting master, in chapter 1. So kind of like people know about it but don't know that much about him. Anyways, and I was considering hiring Michael, but I hadn't yet. And you like psychically must have known that because you sent me just pages and doodles on your own that you made up on your own of Casimir and Octo, and we're like, look, I have just been imagining pages of these characters. I'm like, how did you know I was thinking of
yeah,
hiring you for 2.5 already? And you just like, it was like this was
yeah,
meant to be.
yeah. And it's funny because it's like when I saw the characters, like I got to draw this character. I got and I was like, and like the fan in me is like, okay, I've got all these backstories in the back of my head. Like I could, like right now, I could pitch you an Octo backstory right now. Like I already got it planned in my head. It, I see it.
We'll talk.
Yeah. So, like the thumbnails I drew is how I imagine he meets Casimir. He's being chased by wolves, and he shows up and saves them, and he's riding this huge like elk like deer or something. And I've got all these. I was like, man, yeah, he could do this, this, and this. And then I thought of another side story, like through the eyes of a little dev child, from his perspective. And then he could see like the four heroes or demons invade the town. And then he sees, Casimir and the gang come in and saves them. And of course,
I
how
like
we,
that.
yeah, and how it would
Well,
they'll look like a typical anime where Kaz is like, oh, or something, and pat him on the head, and
we'll talk. We'll talk. We'll see. We'll see how valid this is. Someone just mentioned I am missing a 1.5 chapter. Alex VRV says I'm missing a 1.5. So maybe I no promises,
yeah,
but we'll see how that. My plans this year are all kinds of crazy. I don't even know when Fiendish 3 is coming out, but Douglas Lewis is nice hustle. Yeah. So here's a tip for comic artists: you want to get work, just start like doodling someone's characters and sending them pages completely unsolicited. It'll make the creator very very happy and probably hire you. Well done. I'm trying to find those drawings. I don't know where they are.
Oh,
Um,
the sketch ones of Octo.
yeah, I have your pages for chapter 2, of course, which I
Mm,
do want to show that as well. So,
yeah.
let me pull up your cover inks actually, so people can
Oh, okay,
see
yeah, yeah. The inks
the
compared to the colors.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I do love those inks. Here you go. There, so that these are your inks for the cover, and I love the layout for this. This was I think your graphic design background really shows through. I think you have a really great sense of design, and just the like sort of the extra content that you've volunteered for the book. You took initiative and asked, well, do you want a cover? Do you want an extra poster and all this kind of stuff? I just think that's really great, and we might be doing. I'm hoping we can get to the stretch goal for that to add on like an extra
Oh,
poster or something. But
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. And if not
Well,
for 2.5, then of course, I already said I want a couple of other pieces that you're secretly working on, but it'll be really really cool.
okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I love your graphic design. It's really good.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. But yeah, always envision like I don't know covers and posters. Like I'm like, how would this look as a movie poster or like it's something you see like on a Netflix anime poster or something? And I'm always thinking like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to draw the eye, make it appealing. So
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
because it's a fantasy book, I like these big epic like collages and stuff like that. So
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. I love collages, but having collages doing collages right is also a skill on its own and have it
mhm,
tying into the story, I've noticed. So it doesn't just look like people standing there doing nothing that don't have story relevance. And I think
mhm.
that's something that I notice with a lot of artists that I fall into. But you do it really well. I think how all the characters kind of fit together and having Octo as this big looming presence in the background, it fit perfectly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's a big part of the story, 2.5, so
Yes, yes. I
yeah.
wish I could tell you guys more, but it's 25
Yeah,
pages. So, and it's a very dense 25 pages. Like a lot happens on every page.
yeah.
So, it's kind of I can't show too much work, but I
Well,
promise you guys are gonna love
and
it.
it's funny because I wanted to post some, like, some of the black and whites and stuff, and I'm like, "If I do that, it'll give too much away, I can't," you know? So,
It's
yeah,
so well. Luckily enough, it's a quick turnaround. It's
yeah,
going to be fulfilling by April, so hopefully even sooner than that. So
mhm,
there will be long before you can post your pages. But wait, this is done forever ago. You did this like middle of last year or something
mhm,
because we were thinking maybe I was considering publishing 2.5 with chapter 2 and
mhm,
just publishing it as an Ashcan, but then I decided that wasn't really feasible with the I didn't really plan for that from the beginning, so a bunch of reasons you can't really just add on a whole like 25 pages.
yeah,
I didn't budget for it basically. So that's why it's a separate campaign, but it's also like a pretty hefty book. It's not like a 9 page or 10 page little like extra bonus. So I think you guys are gonna really love that this is a whole separate campaign and separate book because we have extra items for it, and we're gonna be doing like a whole trading card collection, have a trading card artist working on it and everything. But I'm glad that this was its own thing. So also you as an artist can shine a little more because
yeah,
this is I want these point five stories to be truly standalone, not just like tacked onto the main books. They're kind of a introduction to the world if someone wants to jump in on something that's shorter and is self-contained, as and a sort of a hook to continue reading the main series.
yes, and, I've been telling a lot of folks that 2.5, because I've been getting questions like, "So how does it fit into Fiendish?" I'm like, "Well, it's a backstory if you wanna get more familiar with the characters. This is a good, book to start with." Um, so,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's a good way to put it. It's I've been saying it's a standalone one shot that covers Casimir's backstory after he escapes from his hometown of Dorvo after his hometown was destroyed by the strange mysterious demons that we saw in chapter 1, and we kind of find out more about how he survives and how he met some of the characters from the main book in 2.5 and how he
Mm,
finds his value as as a survivor. That is it's a very internal, like
mhm.
introspective a little bit kind of story. I was a little nervous of putting it out there, but everyone I've shown it to really loves it. So it's
Yeah,
I'm a little nervous because it's like this is the first time I'm writing something, but again, at least I have a good team. You and Jake are working on it, so I feel like we're good.
yeah, and your writing was I loved it. So, you know,
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
I was like, "Okay, yeah, this is really good," and, for anybody's like, "Oh, Rainey needs to work on her writing or da da." No, no, it's really, really good. So,
Well, like that kind of stuff makes me nervous. Let me go back to the campaign page because it's like I've professionally mostly worked, well, only worked as an artist myself, other than Fiendish. But the thing is, I have been writing forever. It's just nothing published. Like I write all the time,
mm,
so and I think a lot of artists are like that. So it's just one of those things where it
Hmm.
is a bit of a nerve-wracking thing, but people
Yeah,
like it so
yeah,
far. So.
yeah,
Wait,
and
Jake is involved? Refunded. I'm so sorry to break it to you, but Jake is indeed involved, yes.
yeah, yeah, and me writing my own book. So I talked with Jake about this a while back. My writing style is very weird. I do, yeah, I see everything playing like it's a silent movie. I can see like all my stories. I know how it starts and I know how it ends visually, you know, and then I'll draw everything. And then, okay, now what dialogue do I put in here to make it work and fit? I might have some world building stuff on the side so I keep the characters grounded in the world. But then I'm like, okay, what does he say here? You know, and it's worked with me in the past. So like I'll draw out the whole book and then I'll worry about writing in the dialogue later. I don't know. Is that weird? I
No, I don't think so. I think it depends on what type of story. Uh
because it's
I guess
like,
I have I have a similar kind of
mm,
process where, as you know, I
mm,
don't do scripts, and thank you for working with me on this, because the fact that I don't do traditional
well,
scripts drives some people crazy.
yeah,
But I do like, I also think visually, and I think,
mm,
I'm guessing you're probably the same. I do the thumbnails, and then I do the lettering, and then
mm,
the inking and everything.
yeah.
So
Well,
the visuals come first.
yes, and what you showed me, I was like, well, this is going to be the easiest thing I'll ever do. But I got to draw a lot of trees. But
Yes,
but I
I
have,
get
because of
that.
that, I have mastered tree drawing, so I'm thank you for that.
You sure
But
have.
yeah,
You sure
but
have.
I
So
have like
Alex was saying you love drawing trees more than me. I don't know about that, but I'm glad you
yeah,
took it on.
yeah. But like this year, I've got I'm working with some local artists here. We want to do an anthology, and I've already got like 6-page thumbnails. Just
Ooh,
little,
let's see that.
yeah. Well, just like just you know,
Oh, you thumbnail tiny.
yeah, tiny,
Oh, you work just like me. Like
yeah.
tiny
So
1 inch tall thumbnails. Yes.
yep,
I
and then
embrace that.
yep, then I already like thumbnail my cover, or here's my covers that I've already like composited and
Ooh.
stuff
Oh,
like that.
nice. Yeah, really good design sense. That is
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah. And then I'm trying something new. Like, see these big three, like this is for issue 3 or whatever. I want to try like
Hmm.
something manga-ish. Like here, boom, number one. You know, you can't miss it. You know, try
Hmm.
something different. Haven't seen
Cool. Cool.
anybody
Cool.
do. So
Yeah, I do like that. I think I like how you integrate the title and like that little three. And I remember when you were with this cover here, you planned for the title text, which is very important when designing for a cover. And
yes.
again, your graphic design senses really show through. And we were gonna actually put the title in the bottom, but then we put it on top, and then I was like, can we make it see through? So
Yeah.
glad
Yeah.
I hope you're happy with how it worked
No,
out,
no.
because I really wanted a title on top.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. And you know, looking at it back how I originally wanted, I was like, oh no, it's too busy on the bottom. Put it on the top. I didn't want it to cover Octo because I think he's freaking cool. And yeah, let's make it see through, and we could still see him, but the title's there. So
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah,
And I'm hoping maybe we can have like a titleless version inside. We'll see. Dan
yeah.
Genovese says, "I like the pose." Me too. Me too. Hey, it's a narwhal. What's
Normal.
up? Sup, nar? Some narwhal. Narwhal
Yeah.
books. Oh, thank you. My main website. That is indeed my main website. True, true, true.
Mhm.
Dalgo Solo was asking, "Can you buy those Gertrude sketches?" I'm sure
Oh,
Michael would mind that.
oh, yeah. Let's see. So, down goes solo. The sketch for the cover is in my little sketchbook.
Oh, it's like a little tiny moleskin.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I can send you that. See, I originally had like the one of the bad guys right there for. I don't know. Have you seen this cover I did for him?
yeah, I have. I saw the
Yeah,
sketch.
yeah. But whatever sketches I have of Gertrude, down goes solo. I can send them to you. No problem.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. There you go. I saw this other cover. That one wasn't finished though, right? That was a sketch.
Oh, it's completely done and colored.
Oh, did I see that? I don't remember.
Yeah, you can find it on my Twitter.
Okay. Well, I must go and
Yeah.
I must retweet that as well. But yeah, everybody also check out Dago Solo Travis's project Wrecked.
Oh
It's gonna
man.
be upcoming. It's
Yeah.
another fantasy.
The that's yeah. Down Goes Solo's book's one of my most anticipated books. The artist he's got for the interiors, I love it. I'm like, oh man. So if you guys
Mhm.
haven't backed his book, please do so. I think it's going to be great. There you go. Thank you, Alex.
Yes, thank you for the link. Everyone sign up for Wrecked.
Yeah,
Now taking email signups.
it's going to be awesome.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Well, fantastic. I'm so glad you're getting more work and getting noticed and stuff because I think I remember. I don't know if this. You can tell me. Have you felt like having a manga influence has been a hindrance? Is that still a thing in the
No,
American industry?
no. So, while I was in college, I opened up a DeviantArt just like all the other artists do, right? And I was posting stuff like X-Men and Spider-Man and all that stuff, and wasn't getting any views of any kind. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Then a buddy of mine was like, just do fan art of anime. I'm like, okay. So I just started drawing Naruto stuff, and then boom, my viewership took off. Many,
Oh shit!
yeah, just so many people just started looking
Oh.
at my stuff, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I started putting in my more manga-ish like characters, and they loved that, and I was like, oh, so they don't like me drawing like my '90s Jim Lee style. They want to see me do my anime manga meshed with the Western stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting. I
yeah,
think the audience really leans towards manga nowadays, but a lot of publishers haven't caught on yet. And it's a little frustrating. That's why we're here.
yeah,
That's why we're independent.
yeah,
But definitely, the audience is like all about
yeah.
manga.
Well, I think they're more gravitated towards the stories as well. You know, the underdog who's can't go wrong with Naruto. No,
Yeah.
I've got so many Naruto artwork, fan art done that still sells to this day when I have a booth at conventions. So
Oh boy, I need to dig
yeah,
up my old Naruto fan art that I did like 10 years ago or something.
yeah.
Huh. Apparently, I don't want to make money. Well, that's good to hear
Mhm,
because I remembered that maybe it's because I went for publishers. Publishers kind of still had, at least last I remember, last I tried to pitch to publishers, they were sort of they were kind of iffy on a manga influence. That was
mhm,
still, they were very cautious about that, and especially when I was in art school,
mhm.
they were telling us, well, if you have a manga influence, you're just never going to find work in the American industry. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool, but I can't help how I draw. Like, it's
Yeah,
just,
well, I got that lecture from my art teachers in, like, high school. "You draw like that, no one's gonna like it." I'm like, okay,
yeah.
that's just how I draw, you know?" And then they're like, "Here, draw this still life chair," or whatever like that. I'm okay, I draw the chair, but then I draw, like, superheroes and anime characters, like, flying all around the chair and stuff like that. They hated me.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah.
but
I think we've all had that experience. Well, like going to grade school and teachers hated me just because I drew, and then in art school, like they didn't hate me, but
mhm,
they're all like, you're gonna starve." But it's
yeah,
okay. Look at where we are now. There you
yeah.
go. Hey.
Or my favorite's like
Um.
"Oh, that's all you draw because you're half Asian." I'm like,
Are you serious? That's what you got?
someone told me that one time, and I was like,
Oh
no, I can."
my god!
I was like, "I could draw other stuff too, just as easy," you know?
Yeah, it's
So,
a little messed up.
I thought it was hilarious. I
uh,
wasn't offended at all. I was like, "Huh, you're funny." So,
yeah, I guess like depending
yeah,
on how they meant it. But I've actually never gotten that. But I don't know. I make no secret of it. I grew up in Asia. It's just how it is. I'm not gonna, I love American comics after coming here and reading it,
yeah,
but I think I love seeing a merger of East and West,
mhm,
and I think that's something that because it's kind of a global industry now, even though it's clearly like an American publishing model,
Yeah.
Japanese, European, it's all
Mhm.
different. But most people, I think, a lot of
Yeah.
people, I should say, read just comics in general. I read manga, American comics, European
Mhm.
comics, at least maybe like that's my bias, but everyone I know kind of reads a little bit of everything. It's more about, well, I like fantasy, so they read fantasy from whichever industry that they can find that's good, et cetera, et
Mhm.
cetera. Or they like westerns, and there are westerns, European westerns, and American
Yeah.
westerns. So I
Yeah.
like seeing people kind of put a little twist on what you would expect to see in a style.
Yeah, and a lot of my style, like anime, manga style influences come from like so I grew up 80s, 90s child. I freaking love Ninja Scroll. That's probably my favorite anime movie of all time. Ninja Scroll, Fist of the North Star, Berserk, um, and other movies.
Yes.
Yeah, and other movies I probably shouldn't had I had no business watching when I was younger, like Wicked City and Biohunter and
Yes.
but is that a Bayonet?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I
Oh,
have
no,
a
Rainey.
beware, better not piss me off, people. So you don't know the power that I have. I have a
No.
velvet here, and I have Alex VRV just sent me this. This is the FMA watch.
Oh, is that
That
the,
has
medallion? Like
yeah,
the
well,
watch?
it's the watch. It has the carving on the inside and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
Yeah, isn't it awesome?
That is
I love it.
awesome.
So, and everyone knows I love FMA and Berserk, so I have these hanging from my mic.
Yep.
That's why they're here. Makes me very happy.
Oh, sweet.
Yay!
Did you watch the new series?
The
Was it Brotherhood? Is that what
oh
it's called?
yeah, so I read the manga first, so I actually
Mhm.
like Brotherhood more than the first series. I'm more of
Yes, yeah, I do
a manga
too.
person. Yeah, yeah. So because the thing is, like when I grew up, I actually didn't watch most of the anime. I grew up like just reading manga on the way home from school because we had manga bookshops in Taiwan when I was growing
Mhm.
up, and I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to do homework, so I would just like loiter around manga bookshops, and you can rent a volume manga for like 5 NT, which is like I don't know, like a dime or something,
Yeah,
and I just like sit there for hours. So, but yeah, FMA was one of my favorites, and Brotherhood is more similar. Well, it follows the manga, so I like that
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, I love Brotherhood. I'm glad they ended it the way that they did. So,
Yeah, yeah. I think some people that have seen the original, like the first series, not the original. It's like the
mhm.
original. It should be the one that follows the manga. But anyways, it's if you've seen it first, I can understand having a bias towards the first animated series. But I do think the Brotherhood, the second series that follow the manga, is just the story makes more sense because that's how Arakawa planned it, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I've watched the, with my wife, the, original, and then they had that movie that came out. Was it, Two Happy
What? I'm very confused. Wait, that's not right math. That's not correct.
That's not correct,
That's not
Bancroft.
correct.
That's
Listen,
not
we
right.
have the power of half Asian here. We can tell you your math is not correct, Bancroft. Incorrect.
Yeah.
Unless I'm crazy, which is also
No, you're
possible.
not. You
Mm.
know, they need to beware that Asian invasion, so
Yeah, we're part of it. We're part of that problem. Oh,
yeah.
Mr. Burger for $5. Thank you so much. Clearly, your art teacher's right. Your work is magnificent. My telepathic gerbil sends you positive thoughts, Irene. Oh, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Mr. Burger. My art
Yeah.
teacher weren't all idiots, just some of them.
Yeah, thank you, and I'm sure it's just a style thing because there's still, like, artists that I know and respect, they're not fans of, our take on the art style of the mishmash of them together, um, so it's kinda like when Joe Mad showed up at the scene, everybody like, some professionals saw, they hated it, and then you see it evolved, it's not so much manga-ish now, it's more his own, kinda like how I think yours is a perfect mix of both,
Oh, thank you.
of
Same
Western
with
and
your
Eastern.
style, though.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I think same with your style. I think, well, your work leans a little more manga, but you can adjust your style depending on the project. So,
Yeah.
and like we've already discussed nowadays, it almost doesn't matter because the audience is really open to manga. Like manga is kicking Western comics' ass. Like anything that's domestically made in America, it
Yeah.
pales in comparison to manga. So it's the audience doesn't care.
Yeah. And what do you think happened? Is just like did Western comic stories just really fall off the map and you're just looking for something to
Jeez, I honestly don't know. I think because I was still pretty young when it happened. It kind of like I remember moving here in like 2008 or 9, and back then when I first started college, it was still you go to a bookstore and the manga section was small, and you had a graphic novel section, and then and they still had comic shops. I mean, they weren't everywhere. It wasn't back in the days of when comics were on corner shops and and everywhere, but comic shops were still doing relatively well at the time. And bookstores, the mangas in bookstores were like either just a couple of the most famous series, or weirdly enough, just like I remember I would go to Barnes and Nobles looking for a really famous, currently popular manga, and just I wouldn't be able to find it. I would find really weird stuff there, and I don't know why. And everything was kind of a few years behind. It was like America hadn't really caught on. There was like, what's this manga thing? And then just like year after year, just slowly grew, and now it's just totally taken over. And I think it's kind of it's on two fronts. That in the American industry, I do think there is stagnation, creatively speaking, and not like across the board. There is still good stuff coming out of the American market, right? There are good books coming out of even the big two, which we complain about all the time, and it's few and far between. But there are good books coming out of superhero comics and the indies, IDW, and I don't know about IDW, but Image has some good series, and um, but at the same time, the the sort of there is stagnation because the reason we're here is there isn't really anywhere to go to publish something that is completely original if you're already not already well known. And that's kind of what I ran into, right? Where if you want to publish with Image, what I was told was unless you're already a well-known name, you kind of don't have a chance. You essentially have the Image label, and then you do all the marketing yourself, anyways. Or they just wouldn't really accept your idea if your idea is too risky. And that was kind of what I ran into, and why I decided to go with crowdfunding, because I had this like long form comic. It was epic fantasy, and no one is going to give a relatively unknown artist that chance. So I figured
yeah.
might as well go crowdfunding, because crowdfunding is a possibility, and thank God for that. And thank God for the indie scene, for CG, and now Fiendish is possible. But at the same time, because there's this sort of stagnation and the in America, I think a lot of the publishers don't really know what the audience wants, isn't giving the audience what they want. Manga honestly has been going through a revival because the manga industry rises and dips as well. And in the
Mhm.
past like 10-15 years, I mean, manga has always had its juggernauts, right? You have like different ages of shonen. When I was younger, when we were really young, it was Dragon Ball. And then when like we were kind of teens and 20s, it was Bleach, Naruto, all that kind of stuff. And now it's a new generation. You almost had this generations of shonen, and these are like eras of manga. And every few years there's like a different trends. It used to be mecha like 10,
Oh
20
yeah.
years ago, and now it's a lot of isekai and all kinds of which is I have opinions about, but it is a
Yeah.
popular thing, and a lot of these like light novel adaptations. But it is going through a bit of a renaissance. So
Mhm.
the way I see it is kind of like the American industry has stagnated and manga just started booming and had a renaissance. So it just the imbalance just completely tipped. And because we have the internet, and it's not like in the 90s where it's really hard to like get scanslations and everything, it's kind of a global readership. Manga just completely took over the American market.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
And
So,
I don't know if that's accurate, but that's kind of how I see it as someone who reads both.
yes. Yep, and, I mean, there's still some pretty good comics, like, I'll go to my local comic shop, ABX Comics, and just going through, and there's still some decent ones. I'm starting to pick up Jeff Johns. He's coming out with the was it the Ghost Machine book. He teamed up with some pretty good artists, and started reading that, and just thought it was pretty good for the best.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There have been some good American. Well, at least I've heard. I don't know. I hear people talk about. Well, there's that Batman book that comes out is really good, and the art is good. I haven't read any of it.
Yeah.
I should, but I listen. My reading list is so long already. But I do hear from people I trust that there is still good
Yeah.
stuff coming out of the American industry. It's just few and far between. And of course, you have like all the weird political stuff, which nobody wants.
No.
Nobody
No.
wants. That just
No.
kills like all. Yeah.
No time for that. I mean, I've got
No.
yeah. I mean, I've got a stack of indies that I need to get through. Reading like I just got Andy's core draft. Need to read through
Hell
that.
yeah.
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 So more fantasy books. I'm like, yeah, there we go.
Absolutely. And I think that's also part of it besides from everything that we've talked about. It was really frustrating that in the US market there it was hard to find a diversity of genre, right? It was superhero books dominated, and as much as I have respect for superhero books, it's hard to find fantasy or romance and other genres. It's almost seems like comics are synonymous with superhero books, and I hope that that can start to change, because what I would like to see in the States is a genre diverse industry, just like in Europe and in Japan. I think that's natural, because why wouldn't there be? Comics can be any genre. You can have superhero books, but also fantasy like we're into, but also science fiction and horror and all kinds of stuff. And I know the Comics Code Authority fuck with that completely, but we're way past that. Can we move on?
Yeah.
Please.
Well, that's one of the things I liked about Image back in the 90s, where you had like Joe Mad came out with his Battle Chasers comics, which was fantasy. Then J. Scott Campbell came out with Danger Girl, which is spy. And then there was also another one. I forgot the artist. The comic was called Steampunk. And that comic I thought was really good. I wish I could find back issues of it, but I can't. So, you know, uh, Vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember last Vertigo, Image, IDW. That's always what I gravitated towards, like, you know, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
The American comics that I did like were from those companies.
Yeah. And me, like I've followed artists and their work, and don't mean like Battle Chasers. And I know this is going to tie into the whole late comics crap or whatever, but I waited 22 years for the next Battle Chasers comic because he dropped off.
Really?
Yes. I believe it was Battle Chasers number 10. Yeah, because Joe Mad went off to do video games. Took 22 years. 22 years for that comic to come out. I was first in line to get that when it came into my comic shop.
Ooh, that's dedication. Well, if there are fans that are that dedicated and willing to wait that long, then I mean, hey, like I'm still waiting for the next Song of Ice and Fire books, which it probably will be 22 years. I don't know. Like George R. R. Martin's gonna be like what 80 or some shit.
Yeah.
But if fans really like a book and like a series, they will wait for it. That's true.
Oh god. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that series. I loved it, and then when he stopped, I was like, well, I can only hope. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then he came out with 10, 11, and 12, and then I'm waiting for I believe 13 to come out. So
cool. Well, hopefully neither of us will have to wait that long before continuing our series.
Well, and that's the other thing that, like, when I saw Fiendish, I was like, this is, yes, another fantasy comic. This is going to scratch that Battle Chasers itch, you know? So,
yes, I'm telling you, this is what do you call it? It's a untapped market in the American industry.
Yes.
I swear, we just have to get it out there.
Yeah. Then they had another one from Pat Lee drew. It's called Warlands. I thought that was pretty cool as a fantasy book. Had vampires and stuff in it too. So
okay.
Yeah.
Warlands. Yeah, cool. Warlands or Warland?
Yeah,
Warland.
Warlands. Yeah, Warland.
Warlands. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll write it down. Warlands. Yeah.
yeah,
Again, I don't know when I'm
yeah.
gonna get around to my reading.
It's not around anymore. You probably have to find back issues of it, but it was a fantasy book as well. So,
Cool. 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 All right. All right.
mm,
Talk about the Weapon Zero. Um, yeah. There's Let's see. It also has good stuff once in a while. So does Mad Cave.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, there are smaller publishers putting out good stuff and fantasy books.
mm,
So I try to nab it wherever I can, but mostly I look to Europe. Europe is just chock full of good fantasy, right?
yeah,
Like Japan has all kinds of just weird like adventure entertainment, and Europe is fantasy, like gorgeous art. Honestly, I'm like some days I just loathe that it's like why wasn't I born
yeah,
in Europe or Japan? But
yeah,
it's, why is it so hard to get into their industries? Because that's what I would really want to.
yeah.
But I love the books. I love their publishing model.
Mm.
That especially in Europe, they spend more time doing a really detailed book, and they publish out one book a year, which is exactly what we're doing here, right?
Yes, and then one of my favorites, like heavy metal magazines, European, right?
Yeah,
Think so. One of my favorites is from Simon. What's his last name? Beasley.
Bisley.
Bisley. He had one I saw in a heavy metal magazine called The Horned God, and it had a character in there named Slain. That book was freaking awesome. I was like, "Oh my god, this is great." Not a lot of people. I will mention that every single time. Not a lot of people know what I'm talking about, and I'm like, "No, you have to see this book because the art is so fantastic. It's a
I
fantasy,
have
like a dark
yes.
fantasy. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh
Or
yeah, no, I haven't ever read it. I've seen the art because Phil Diaz loves Bisley and
mhm.
Slain, and there's like
Oh,
a drawing on it. We
Phil
almost
knows Phil. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Phil's a huge Bisley fan. I think he talks to Bisley regularly or something. But yeah, it's dude, Bisley's work is amazing, and Slain is one of those just really heavy metal characters,
Yes.
just really ridiculous, like really 90s, and I just love that aesthetic as well. I wish we had more of that now. Very like manly, very 2000 AD. Yes,
Yes.
exactly. That's kind of look heavy.
Mhm. Yep.
Bisley Curve Industry.
For
Well,
Finish 3,
if the Diaz's can hook me up, we'll talk. We'll talk.
for the cover, that'd be freaking cool.
Oh yeah, that would be
Yeah.
awesome. So I take it your favorite genre is fantasy.
Um, I like fantasy a lot. I forget I like I don't know what's that's an interesting question. I never sat down to think about what's my favorite. Because I've got if I had to choose something, I like anything feudal Japan, but like the fantasy aspect of like ancient, like maybe it's because it's my Asian heritage or whatever. I like the mythology, Asian mythology, and making stories out of that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, the Journey to the West, and all this other stuff. But it's fun to draw
Cool.
fantasy. I'll say that I have a lot more fun drawing fantasy stuff. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's
but
that's true.
yeah, but I also like drawing Gundams and superheroes and other stuff like that. I've got like so many ideas crammed in this head, but I got no time to draw it. you
I
know?
know the feeling. Oh, tell me about it. Well, like speaking of ideas in your head, you have mentioned when you were on the show before you want to do your own series.
Oh,
What are your plans and what kind of projects are you
all right.
planning?
So right now, my current project right now, I'm drawing for a local writer. It's I guess you call it a sci-fi story. It's called the Brothers of Justice. It's for a local writer named Travis Holloway, which he's been with my older brother making comic books like from the since I was 12. So there's like a bunch of artists and writers that I really look up to, and he needed an artist to draw his book. I guess I could show the cover. Let's see,
Yeah,
like this.
do show.
Uh,
Oh, hey, nice Beatles homage.
yeah, yeah. So,
Very
this,
nice.
I drew this. He's got like one of gets this published, and I'm not going to show anything else because I'm not sure if he wants me to. But yeah, I'm working on that.
That's great.
Patrick, of course, has me up for doing Seekers 2. So,
Cool.
so whenever I get to that, I can do that. And then I have my own books, which is funny. I have an Inktober book done in 2019, and everybody's telling me. I mean, it's some of my favorite work. They want me to do a book. Like, hey, you need to do a book of that. I have it ready to go. It's like 100 pages. But
Whoa! Wait, like
yeah,
100-page art book just sitting
just
around ready?
sitting there. I need to go in
Crazy.
and type
Okay.
in my thoughts about it. So what I did was I took Inktober and I used the prompts to help me world build. So I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do with this prompt and world build my world for my characters. And that's what I did. And in my
Mhm.
book, I was going to type what my thought process is behind what are these and that. And it's just sitting there right now. I have to go in and type it. So it's all fantasy. And then I have what I showed those thumbnails. They was talking about doing an anthology, 6 to 8 pages. So I just quickly
Mhm.
thumbnailed them. Like, okay, I'm ready to go when you guys are ready. So yeah,
Wow, prolific, man.
yeah. So
Oof. That's drive, and I know how hard it could be after just working for years and years, and if you have like family and a day job and everything, and
oh
having that motivation after everything to keep drawing your own stuff and freelancing, it's hard. It's
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
So,
Especially my day job where it's working on magazines and deadlines. If anything, my job has uh, taught me deadlines. Let me just say that. And
mhm.
then, like you told me, oh, you can relax. You don't have to do it. I'm like, no, I'm going to finish 2.5 when you told me to. It just, it,
Well, deadlines are important, but I
yeah,
also I usually I'm like, okay, this is deadline, but then I have a buffer zone because I know artists, so I just expect that at this point. But you
yeah,
hit your deadline, so thank
yeah,
you for
yeah.
that.
On top of that, yeah, work, 3 kids, and
Whew,
yeah, and so
amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, especially when, yeah, 3 kids. I want to read that, Michael. Yeah, whenever I whenever I get some downtime, I'm thinking about like after doing Patrick's Seekers 2, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting mine. Thank goodness you have that
We have
notification.
to. That's how we get everything done. Huh.
Yeah, yeah, you got to get that done. But when I'm done with Patrick's Seekers 2, I'm gonna start penciling my story that I've been world building for like 4, 5 years now. So, and the thing about it is, it started out as like I wanted to be simple, then it became complex. Like, oh no, what am I doing? So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how it always happens, right? I mean, I think that's a good sign though, because with world building, the most important thing, well, there's a lot of important things, but if you commit, then that's how you make world building good, right? You can have a really simple concept, but if you're really thorough and
Mhm.
explore it from all angles and build the world as if this
Yeah.
concept is real, it's like, okay, in this world water floats or something. So
Yeah.
that sounds really simple, but if you really commit and think about all the ways that that would affect reality, then you make a really fascinating world based on a really simple set of rules, if that
Yes.
makes sense.
Yes. So it started out as a webtoon because I was like, I'll never be able to afford printing a comic book or whatever like that. And then I'm like, I drew it in that infinite canvas style, and it was real clever how I had made water floats give me DM. Yeah. So, so my book's called The Dark Moon Saga. It's about 4 adventurers trying to put balance back to the world because a catastrophic event happens to where light and forces of light and dark, they're fighting each other. Then they awaken this unstoppable force which holds no allegiance to anybody, and he wreaks havoc on both sides to the point where they both had to team up to stop it. and when they do, it can't be destroyed. It just that power transfers to somewhere else, and it happens to transfer to this little boy, this baby, and this guy's like, no, we can't. He was going to take him and raise him, and probably try to figure out how to get that power out of him. And I have scenes where like his best friend's like, no, we got to kill the baby right now while the power's in him or whatever. And as the story goes on, the King of Light is really like the main bad guy, because I like the idea of like the brightest light casts the darkest shadows,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So
Right. Very berserk.
yeah, so he believes what he's doing is good, but it's not, because he's trying to control both sides, and it's knocking the whole world out of balance. So I've got 4 adventurers try to make sure it's balanced. Then
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a really good elevator pitch, because it's all over the place. My story.
Right. Well,
So
you're starting out, and it's sort of the basic premise for how it begins, right? So I think that's a good basis to start off of. The whole using the baby as a phylactery thing is it's like that's also very manga. I just love that. That reminds me of, obviously, like
yeah.
Naruto kind of had that. But if you've seen Guardian of the Sacred Spirit, have you seen that
Guardian of the
show?
Sacred Spirit, I have not.
Yeah. Okay, so that's by Production IG. It's the same production house that did Ghost in the Shell. The actually, they did all the Ghost in the Shells, but the TV series was directed by the same director, or at least was the same director. Was the designer the same, Kenji Kamiyama? So the character designs look a lot like the Ghost in the Shell TV series, which is amazing, and is the one I recommend. So go watch that. I mean, movies
Okay.
are good, but like, listen, the TV series is amazing. So, anyhow, Guardian of the Sacred Spirit, I think that was adapted from a novel series, like a Japanese fantasy novel series. But the show is great. It's about a spear woman who is sent on a mission to protect this prince and transport and protect this little prince, like
Is
this
it
10-year-old prince that
is
has a
the
power
is
inside
the
him.
spear woman, her name's Balsa?
Yes,
Oh, I know what you're
also
talking about now.
yeah, like
Yeah,
the
I
wood
have.
also.
All right, so I have the entire anime on disc,
No,
all
you
of
do
them.
have it's a
Yeah,
Japanese name is Seirei no Moribito, so it's
yeah,
like
I got that.
okay, yeah. So the English and
Yes, yeah,
Japanese name. Yes,
and
I was like,
and
you
that
must know this.
yeah, and that character
Cool.
reminds me of Down Goes Solo's Gertrude.
It does. Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
because
Like it's
with the
so.
spear.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
about to say Dago. So Travis, you should watch Guardian of Sacred Spirit. If you like, I was thinking you must have seen it because the character is so similar. Like probably not as like darkly traumatic as Gertrude, but the whole spear woman thing, and like even like I think I did the design like thinking of her, but also his
yeah,
description sounded like her
mhm,
already with
yeah,
like long dark hair and everything. So I'm like, this is Balsa, but of course also different. Like she has a different backstory and everything, and it's all kinds of magic stuff coming into play.
yes.
But that's a great anime.
It is, yeah, I've got that. My wife had that anime, and she's like, "Hey, you wanna watch this series?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I never called it the Guardian of the Spirit thing. I was always, Marbito is how I knew it. So,
Oh yeah, Seirei no Moribito is Sacred Spirit, I think, and
yeah.
Seirei is Guardian. It's just Japanese and
Yeah,
English name.
I got you. Yeah,
Right.
no,
Well, Travis, but yeah, Gertrude is a mean asshole. Balsa is not. Clearly, very different
clearly, very
for
clearly. Yeah,
legal purposes. So yeah, there you go. That's the name. I highly recommend the
yeah,
series.
recommend. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. Does it have maps? Well, no maps are as good as Fiendish maps. Let me tell you
No,
that. But
nope.
first of all, let me just
No,
establish that.
yeah. And then, another one of, another anime that I really love. I haven't seen a lot of people, I don't know a lot of people have seen. It's called Sword of the Stranger,
Yeah.
the movie.
What you haven't? People don't know that one.
No, there's just people I talk to, like, "Have you seen Sword of?" Because they know I love Ninja Scroll, and then
Yeah.
it was like, "You seen Sword of the Stranger?" So like, "What's that?" I was like, "Oh my god."
What? It's
I have nobody
amazing.
I have
It's
nobody to talk to
amazing.
about this
Oh, the
stuff.
animation is so good. It's like
Yeah,
okay, so if you want like anime sword fights, it's it's like Champloo, Sword of the Stranger. Then those are the main ones, and on top of like Kenshin has some good sword fights as
Genshin,
well.
yeah.
Honestly, Seiri and Moribito had a really good spear sword fight. That
Mhm,
one in the field was that was like what, episode 2 or 3, so good.
mhm.
I would say those are the main ones that I've seen, but yeah, Sword of the Stranger makes
It's
such
so
good
good.
fight animation, and the style
Mhm.
is great.
I love the story too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Ninja Scroll, Irene?
I have not. I have not.
Oh my
I
god.
know. I know.
It's
Ninja
so
Scroll,
good.
Outlaw Star, ones that I get yelled at all the time for having not seen. Everyone's like, "How dare you? How
Ninja
dare you?"
Scroll is so good. Oh my god. Like Ninja it's funny, all the anime that influenced me were the most violent ones.
Oh yeah. Maybe
So,
that's what happened to us. That's the
yeah,
problem.
that's probably what happened to us. Yeah,
I know. I have to see it.
yeah.
Literally, Outlaw Star and Ninja Scroll are ones that I get yelled at all the time for. It's like
Mhm,
I think they were just a little before my time. And again, I didn't have TV, so I
mhm.
read manga. So the stuff I was reading was stuff like, oh my god, I loved Oguraito when I was
Oh,
like
yeah.
14. But of
Mhm.
course, there's like no substance. The story was like shit, but the art was amazing. And I was like, oh my god, the art sounds so cool. So I read like a ton of Oguraito. And then
Yeah.
Death Note was really hot at the time. So I really liked Death Note. And then, so, of course, stuff like Battle Angel, Alita. And there's like this other samurai manga called what? I don't know the English name, but the main character's name was Kyo, Kyo, and it was this like dark haired guy that was possessed by a demon, had like red eyes and shit. And I thought
Oh,
it was like, wow, so edgy and cool, but looking back, the story was also like bleh, but it's actually decently well known.
yeah.
And then of course shit like Akira and Kenshin and Naruto. Those just
Yeah.
every day, every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's all.
love, like, a lot of the older anime, like Akira, Venus Wars. Not a lot of people remembers Venus Wars. Fist of the North Star, that had a huge influence on me when I was watching it. Uh,
Mm.
and then one that's not a lot of people has the stomach for it, it's called Wicked City. It's very it's not for the faint of heart, I'll just tell you that. I had no business watching that when I was younger, but my older brothers were watching it, and me and my little brother was, like, in the hallway watching it, sneaking it, and it was like, "Oh, this is so cool," but, oh my god, well, did we not supposed to watch that movie?
I've heard of that. Yeah. Oh, Samurai Deeper Kyo. There you go. Thank you, chat. On your chat would save my ass. There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like I remember it was kind of bloody, but well, it's like a
Yeah.
samurai. But of course, it was kind of bloody. Wicked City is dope. It's free on YouTube. Well, thank you for that. There you
Where the
go. That's
hell
all
is it
cool.
free on YouTube?
A lot of shit's free on YouTube now.
No,
I
but
found so many series I just love
there's
YouTube.
scenes in that movie that does not need to be on YouTube. Like
Well,
like
you know how
like
YouTube goes.
Narwhal. Like Narwhal, you'll like the you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like the beginning of the movie. It's like, "Oh my god," then it shoots webs. Oh my
Down goes solo. Do either of you have oddball manga anime Rex? Yes, I'll go first. So I remember someone asked this a few weeks ago. It must have been during the block or something, and I didn't get to answer it. So, the weird. There's a lot of weird anime out there, but the
Mhm.
weirdest one that you can find for free on YouTube as well is this anime movie of the Tale of Genji that was done in like the 80s, and it's like the weirdest shit. The animation style is actually really beautiful. So
Yeah.
you guys know the Tale of Genji, which is actually the oldest recorded novel written in history, is written by this like Heian
Uh-huh.
court lady in
Yeah.
Japan, and it's basically about a palace playboy, like a royal prince that was a playboy, and it's his
Mm.
exploits, just basically like screwing all the palace ladies and all kinds of very weird things that definitely wouldn't fly in modern society, but it was like this episodic thing that she would just write and send out to all her friends, and it was technically that was the first serialized story and the first novel
Mhm.
ever in recorded history. So there's been a few anime adaptations. There's one that's newer. It looks shinier. Obviously, it's like newer anime style. Not that. Look for one that's like it hardly even looks like anime. It has
Mhm.
kind of realistic faces, tiny mouths, and like blurry ass animation, but
Yeah.
really pretty silhouettes. And the ending is just like weird as shit. So it's set in the Heian era, and it's like like medieval playboy going around banging everybody. But at the end, it's like some weird psychedelic shit where he transports into space, and I have no idea what the ending means. But it's like this weirdo who has mommy issues and just like flies off into Wonderland. It is so strange, but it's free. So if you guys want to just get really drunk or high someday and go watch
Mhm.
that, help yourselves.
Yeah. Someone mentioned, Point Blank, Legend of the Overfiend. I've seen that on YouTube, which is another one that doesn't need to be on YouTube. Yeah. Oh
Oh,
my
Vampire
god.
Hunter D. All these things don't need to be on
Yeah.
YouTube, yo. I
Yeah,
remember Vampire Hunter D. Yeah.
yeah, so
Oh,
Madhouse
so good.
Studios is one of my favorite animation studios for
Mhm.
anime stuff. Love their animation stuff. So,
Yeah, so beautiful.
yeah.
Is a new Netflix Ghost in the Shell? There's a new Ghost in the Shell? Like a new one?
Mhm.
I'm so tired of these adaptations.
Yeah,
Just leave it alone. I didn't even like Arise. Ugh.
yeah.
Why? I don't know. I mean, part of me was ticked that they changed the source material, and I was like, okay, the
Mhm.
Kamiyama continuity already set a pretty good backstory for um for Major. So why are they changing it? I really like the whole like backstory where she met Kuze and everything. It was so well done. So why don't you just follow the same continuity? And I know like the movies and the TV show and the manga all have different backstories and continuities, but it drives me nuts. I feel like they're turning it into a franchise, which is what I don't like. I think if you want
Yeah.
to do a few different versions of an idea, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if I find it very distasteful to just continually reboot things and redo it, I think it waters the franchise, well, the story down. Right? It shouldn't be a franchise. It should be a story first.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
thoughts.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Ninja Scroll 2022. I figured it was so well. I haven't heard of it. No one I know has recommended it to me, so it probably did suck. I could be wrong, but
did you watch the new Pluto series on Netflix? It's Astro Boy?
oh, is it? No, what style was it done in? Is it Urasawa?
Um, not sure, but the story and the animation is really good. And I didn't think I'll be like, "Oh, man, I'm gonna watch Astro Boy," but no, it's really, really good.
Pluto on? Is it on
It's on
Netflix?
Netflix, yes. There's this, serial killer going around killing robots.
Oh, yeah, this is Urasawa. Okay, hold on. Let
Okay.
me show you. Okay. So, um, this style. Okay, so Pluto is a story arc from
Astro
Astro
Boy.
Boy, which is obvious by Osamu Tezuka. So, but this style, if you guys didn't know, Naoki Urasawa is a mangaka who's like a well-known. He's like a huge Tezuka fan. Most mangaka are Tezuka fans, right? He's like the father of manga. But um, but Urasawa is like well known for really, really liking Tezuka. And he was allowed by Tezuka's estate to do an adaptation of the Pluto story arc. So there's a manga of this. And by the way, Urasawa is the creator of Monster, which I have recommended many times. Monster is a manga series. It's
Mm.
about a doctor who unwittingly saves a child serial killer. Not not a serial killer that kills children, like a little boy who's a psychopath that goes around killing people, and he saves this little boy because he didn't know, and he kind of has to live with like the monster that he saved, even when he thought it was a child, and all the repercussions of that. He goes on the run to try to right his wrongs and all this stuff, and it's really fascinating. And also 20th Century Boys, which is like, I don't even know how to describe 20th Century Boys. It's weird, it's wild, it's like end of the world cult conspiracy kind of stuff, but he has this like really interesting cartoony art style that's not traditional manga. I don't know how to describe it, but you see here, this is basically the way he draws. Do I have? Here's the manga. That's his like art
Yeah.
style. I like how it's a little classic. It's not kind of the cutesy shonen look. So I would highly recommend Urasawa's work. But this is clearly, here you go. This is Pluto adapted in Urasawa's art style. That's cool. I didn't know there was an anime of this. I'm totally nerding out now, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I binge watched it. It's really good. I
Oh,
think
that's
it's really good. My wife didn't enjoy it as much. I was like, "What are you talking about? This is so good." So yeah,
oh no, she did like it.
she didn't care for it too much.
Aw.
One of her favorites is I haven't met a lot of people watch it. It's a Psychopaths. Have you seen?
Psychopaths. I
If
have
you
heard of it.
if you haven't seen it, at least watch the first season. At least that much. It's it is
Hmm.
so good. I can't preach that show enough. It's almost like it's like a Ghost in it's a like a Blade Runner future, and people live off of something called the civil system, where everybody has like a crime coefficient. If it gets too high, they send cops somewhere to get you. Kind of like Minority Report in a
Mm.
way.
Yeah, no, I've seen the art of this. I never watched it.
Yeah,
There's
it
so much anime I haven't watched.
so the creator of this, he just originally wanted to just do 1 season, and it was so good. Everybody's like, "Oh, please make another one." So, season 2 is,
Oh,
it's not
okay.
no. Just watch season
Duly
1
noted.
and yeah, just watch season 1 and watch the movie. The movie's pretty good
Okay,
too, but season
duly
1, you
noted.
have to watch it. I think you'll love the main bad guy.
I'm liking the aesthetics. It reminds me
Yeah.
very much of Ghost in the Shell, so I've heard
Yes.
good things about this. Yeah, let me show you guys the Ghost in the Shell TV series. Ghost in the Shell. Well, Second Gig is the best. I think that's an anime original storyline as well. Like Second Gig is so
Yeah.
good. Go
So,
check it out.
I've seen the Ghost in the Shell movie. Didn't get into the TV series.
Hmm. It's good. Did you try it and didn't like it, or did you just
No,
not see it?
I just didn't have time to watch it, was the thing.
Hmm.
So, I'll probably pick it back up or pick it up to watch, but
Yeah, the
I like
the
the
TV series
movie.
is really good. Oh, there you go. The Psycho Dad, not Psycho Dad, Psychopaths. Urasawa did a documentary series making manga with himself and other artists. Yes, I have seen that, except it was in Japanese, so I didn't understand it. Other English subs, good, because when I watched it, it didn't have English subs, and I was mad. So I'll go find it with English subs. Yeah. Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have someone on here that also watches anime and knows manga. I can finally let my weeb out, and everybody won't make fun of
Yeah,
me for it. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Put me for what I grew up with.
yeah. So, Fiendish 2.5,
Yeah.
can you,
What were we talking about? We're talking
yeah.
about our influences. That's how we ended up
Yeah.
here.
So, I noticed, one of the original artworks is on there, and I just wanna put that into context, what that piece is. Um, I'm just a little bit of spoilery, Kaz does some really intense training, and which,
Mm,
you know, influenced me to draw this piece where you see the grass is in the shape of Octo. So, once you read the book, um, you'll understand what this piece is all about because he's been put through hell, so to speak.
kind of is, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's not that. I mean, it's a spoiler that I think everyone kind of already deducted, whatever the word is, because essentially after Casimir survives the destruction of his hometown, he's taken in by this hunter. That's this real rough looking guy that's on the cover in the background, and he's not super nice, but the whole point is Kaz wasn't looking for someone that's nice. He wanted to be strong. But oh boy, is he taught to be that. And it kind of explains why he has the skill set he does right now, but also why he's kind of an unpleasant asshole in the main books. And I wanted to really hammer that in. So if you want to see that hammer the fuck in, read 2.5. You'll
yeah,
get a
yeah. And in 2.5, you see his transition from kid to how he is. You'll see his personality. Why he is the way he is. So
Yeah, I really wanted to, and I'm hoping it works the way that I intended it, because I realized that it was definitely a risk writing a main character that was not charismatic, that was
Well,
kind of a dick, and was also very introverted and didn't talk about their their problems. Like I have a lot of internal narration, but it's
mhm.
sort of like this isn't the guy that's going to talk about his damn
Well,
feelings, right?
yeah,
So I feel like we needed a chapter like this to explore the character.
yes. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that this exists, 2.5, because reading chapter 1 and then chapter 2 and then reading 2.5 gives me a much better understanding of why Kaz is the way he is. You know, what is
I'm glad.
he has to be an asshole, you know, and he does have that, especially around Easkell, he wants to protect him. He has that soft side to him too, which you'll see stuff like hints of that happen in 2.5. So the
Mhm.
assholery is part of his charm.
Well, manga has corrupted that. That's also a manga thing. I think manga has a lot of kind of assholey main characters. So I
Yeah,
don't know. Could come
yeah,
from that.
but you get a better understanding of Kaz when you read this, and I feel that, you know, it enriches the story more, you know? So,
Thank you. I hope so. And I am again very glad that you were here to bring this story to life.
mhm,
And it's honestly I couldn't have asked for a better artist to take
mm,
on this story because it's honestly a very nerve wracking thing, and I totally lucked out because you got the
yeah,
style and then your timely and everything, and you're also like a fellow fantasy and manga lover, so that's
mhm.
just awesome. And man, I look forward to doing more projects. I hope
Oh,
this
yeah,
thing.
yeah, whenever you need help with anything, I'm here to help you, Rainy. So,
Oh, thank
yeah,
you. Henry Beamer says I'm enjoying
you just
Fiendish.
say it, so
You. Yeah. Thank you. His tough sit is offset by the other characters. That was the plan. So if you read Fiendish 1 and 2, I very this whole reason Easkell is there. Like in the early drafts, Easkell was there just because I realized, well, I need somebody who's more personable and is likable to bring out the better qualities of the main characters. The main character is a little insufferable, especially at first. But then, of course, it was really cool, and I can't like reveal anything yet. But sometimes I wonder if I'm keeping too much secret, but I shouldn't
no,
spoil. You see,
yeah,
I need to be
no,
good on spoilers, but like Easkell also took on his own arc because the way I structured the story was I have four protagonists. I have one main character, but four protagonists is Casimir, Easkell, Ragna, Yomi, and the four of them all have different perspectives on the conflict at hand, which is definitely deeper than just the monsters. Like the demons are the surface level that we deal with for the first three books, but after the first three books, you find out that there's something way deeper, and they all have different perspectives on what's happening, and they change in different ways. And Easkell has his own perspective. He's his own character, and he has a different moral set. And I wanted Easkell and Casimir to kind of be at once very bound together and inseparable, but also conflicting. They're foils for each other. They have different points of view. Cosmere is very practical and cold because he feels like he has to be that way to survive. Isko is very empathetic. He wants to understand and try to make everything work, and he's much softer. And there are pros and cons to both of these approaches. So that's kind of their dynamic drives the story a lot through the whole series.
yeah. Yomi's the one that surprised me the most. Reading 2, I didn't think I would like her as much as I do, so you did really good with her story. I was like, "Oh, man, yes." So,
Yay!
yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. This might be weird to say, but Yomi surprised me too.
That's not
But
weird.
it's
You're writing the character, and then you're like, "Oh, yeah," you know?
no, it's one of those things where the characters
Pretty much write
sometimes
for
things just
themselves.
yeah, and also I didn't starting out for a long time I honestly didn't know what to do with Yomi, but after when I was planning out too, she just clicked, and her whole arc is well, she was a former slave, and her arc has to do with freedom. But what she's looking for is freedom in more ways than one, right? It's not just about physical freedom and not being a slave anymore. There's all kinds of mental freedom and all kinds of different levels of this that she explores. So this is definitely something that we got like real deep into going forward, and she's tested constantly on how far she's willing to go because freedom comes with more danger as well, and it's not just in a sense of well, are you serving someone? It's a balance between stability and risk essentially. So
Yeah.
That's her arc. And yeah, I had a ton of fun writing that, and I love her character too. I'm glad people seem to really latch onto it.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody seems to like Yomi a lot. So
She is, yeah. She's also looking for a family. Maybe Yomi goes full bard. Well, maybe I'll give her
um,
some bard classes.
yeah.
There we go. No, she's a team loot bitch. We've already established this, Alex Fairby. That's a joke. It's a joke for anybody who's like, listen. That's a gaming, that's a D&D term. Okay. Oz is
Yep.
the best character. Oh, thank you. I do find it interesting that everyone seems to latch on to. Most people tend to latch on to different characters. I think Yomi and Casimir tend to be the most standout. And I understand with Yomi, she's very sympathetic. She's made to be sympathetic. But I'm glad that people are latching on to Casimir because I was afraid he would be a little too hard to understand. He's really closed off. But and I was definitely also like, worried that I wanted to be very realistic and not sort of, even though you know the basic premise of a character who's lost their family and is through a demon attack, that's not on the surface. It sounds like that's not it's not like the most innovative thing on the planet, but I want to do it in a way that was innovative, that when you get into the weeds of how it actually happened and as the story is revealed, it's not just like, well, a character suffered trauma and then I just never mention it again. It's ever persisting. It's part of who he is. It's also part of why he's an asshole, and that's part of committing to the things that you make your characters go through to make them feel real. So I'm glad that that seems to work and people are starting to understand him. I
Mm-hmm.
hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm again just so glad that we had you on here on this project. Jake is never going to show up. We've been here for over an hour, and
Yeah.
I'll just go yell at him, and I'll make him pay for this. Don't worry. He was definitely supposed to be here. We had all kinds of stuff planned and wanted to like maybe show some colors and stuff. But you know what, Jake? Yeah, you know what? That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe the only excuse I will accept is he was just coloring so hard and he was exhausted and fell asleep and totally forgot about the show. So that's fine. It's the only excuse I will accept. Always make Jay pay. I absolutely
Okay.
will. Yes, tisk tisk.
Make Jake
But
pay.
I know. Gosh. I can see some clear paths with each character's arc already. Yes. Oh, please tell me more about how my characters are awesome. Oh, this makes me so happy. No, seriously. I'm so happy. I hope that it's always a fear that because my own reading list is so backlogged that people will not read the books or take a while to get to it, or like because I fall into that trap of I just have so many comics and I never get to some of them. But I really want people to read Fiendish because I want to hear the feedback. First of all, because I think the story is great. Like this is what I want to do all my life. I finally have a chance to do it. So, and I've got such a great team. I have you, Michael. I have my main colorist, Nick. I have Jake. I have all these, and I have Michael as my editor, and all these other people that are supporting the project. And I'm just so grateful. I want it to be read, but also I want feedback because feedback makes the work better. So I want to hear what you guys like or didn't like by chapter 2. When 2.5 comes out, I want to hear that so I can implement it into chapter 3. I want every book to be better than the last because I'm building on what was already laid down. This isn't a joke to me. This is at least 10 years or more of my life upcoming. So this is a joke. I ain't fucking around.
How many pages you planning for 3?
Okay, so so I'm not sure. I was planning on making it just a really big book because I wanted to and this isn't a spoiler. I already told everybody we're going to Dorvo. The characters are going to travel there, and then it's going to be like a big mystery reveal there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted 3 to be the entire journey, like from Falfrin all the way to Dorvo and to that big reveal. But I'm thumbnailing chapter 3, or what I originally intended to be chapter 3, and it's going to be over 100 pages. So I just sent it to a couple friends, and they've said that I have a cutoff point at probably around like 50 to 60 pages. So I might cut it in half. I'm not sure yet. I want more feedback. I actually would like to ask the audience. I mean, you guys can let me know in chat, but I'll probably like do a Twitter poll at some point. I don't know if would you guys rather wait longer for like 100+ page book, or would you rather have another 60-ish page book, because I do have a cutoff that's kind of like a bit of a cliffhanger right in the middle. That's pretty perfect. So I would be able to launch that sooner, and I'll have the whole thing laid out so I can draw it all in one go, but I can just deliver you a chunk of the story earlier. Let me know what you guys would prefer. Because honestly, it's like, I don't know, it's all like kind of, it'll be like a 2-part, almost like one book in 2 parts, but there is a really good cutoff point. So it'll be either like about 60 pages or like 120 page giant fat monster of a thing that will take forever. So it'll be long. If I go with like 100+ pages, it'll take forever before I can launch it. So I think I'll probably go stir crazy. I don't want to make everybody wait that long.
Yeah. Okay.
42 volumes, just like Berserk. No.
Not that long.
No, thank you. Bigger, longer, and uncut. Well, all right. If that is, if we're asking, if the audience is asking for me to go all in, then well, 270-ish pages. That's the thing. I don't want to make people wait too long. I would like to deliver the story sooner, because I also have concern if I want to fulfill relatively quickly once I launch the campaign. I'm trying to get a lot of the work done before I launch the campaign. So once the campaign is launched, as anyone who's done a crowdfunding campaign knows, once you hit that button, that clock starts ticking. So even if I set the fulfillment date for like a year out, the clock is still ticking, and nobody really likes waiting a year for crowdfunding books anyways. I think the general feedback I've seen is maybe 6 months to a year. So I want to have at least probably like all the inks done, I'm thinking, and then launch it. So we're just working on colors, just like with 2.5. I really like the process for this. We had all the inks done. Michael, you finished the inks way early before we launched the campaign, and then I had the cover, and of course a bunch of the supplemental art, and Jake has just been working on the colors, and I'm actually done lettering it. So that's why this is such a fast turnaround, and I want to repeat that for the campaigns going forward. So let me know what you guys think, and I want to deliver the books to you guys in a way that you guys would enjoy. I mean, it's going to be the same story material. It's just, do you want to get in one chunk, or like get kind of like one book? Like, you don't want to wait like two years before I launch the next campaign, right? Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, that's going to drive me insane. I'm going to not do that. Also, make a black and white version. I will consider that. Dango Solo has been asking for that. And yeah, certainly I'll do that. The super extended cut. So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so everybody mentioning a black and white version. So, seeing your inks and stuff, and which is why I want to capture that style, because I think my inks will look good in black and white. It's one of the reasons why I did it the way I did. So
absolutely. And speaking of, let me show some of your inks. I'd love to. Here's what I'm thinking. It was JW Learning mentioned a super extended cut. I am definitely going to do an omnibus version, because up until Dorvo is the first arc of the story. So that's where the reason I haven't done a black and white version is I want to do like a big collected one. So it'll be 1, 2, 2.5, and either like whatever the next books are up until Dorvo. So this will be included as well, and the it'll be like big omnibus with the colors version, so you can read the whole thing in one go, but also a black and white version, because like I put a lot of time into the inks. I want my inks to look good. Michael's also definitely done that. That's kind of a thing with Fiendish. We want the black and white art to look good, because if you guys didn't know, fun fact, originally Fiendish was going to be a black and white series, because I didn't know if I could afford a colorist. So and it's like, I am determined to have the art look good. I'll only hire artists that I really, really like. So I want like to have an artist edition definitely at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who just messaged me? Jake.
Oh, Jake.
He may or may not show up. Let's see. We'll all roundly shame him when he does finally show up. Just kidding. It's fine. He was working hard. But yeah, speaking of the inks, I want to show everyone some of your inks, but I almost don't know what's. No. I have to be very careful about this.
Just show the ones that's on the campaign right now if you want.
Okay, I guess I can. Yeah, do that. I mean, it's my story, but I'm like, I need to be careful because sometimes I get carried away.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah, the black and white versions of these. Sure. Because I want to see what Like Jake's colors are lovely, but also what you've
Mm.
managed to do is great.
Yeah, I'm really happy with Jake's colors. I
I'm
keep
glad.
joking in the chat that he's gonna be the next Kyle Ritter. So,
Oh boy. No, he's a very good colorist.
yes.
Andy Daly, sold, take my money. Oh, thank you. No nudie images. No, none of that here. Well, not in 2.5. Chapter 3, on the other hand. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
You guys know the main books aren't exactly prude. So here you go. Here is page 1 and 2.
Page one.
I
Yeah.
love how the first page turned out. There are a few pages
Yeah.
further on that I just love how the and those are like really spoiler pages that I can't show. There's some
Yeah.
pages that are just, it's so cool. There's this one scene that's in a
Mhm.
cave. That's all I'm gonna say, but it's bloody, just blood everywhere.
Oh yeah, blood everywhere.
It's
It's
just
not a. And when I was drawing that page, I'm like, it's not fiendish without blood. So
yes. Like I don't know, like how clear I made it in the notes, but I was like, I wanted a scene in a cave and it's dark and moonlit and it's
yeah.
snowy, but there's just blood all over the snow and it's
Mhm.
just bleh, carnage. And like
Yeah.
you put out the park, and I can't wait to see it colored
Yeah.
because it's fun fact with the whole book. Originally this was gonna, I was thinking of it in kind of like warm and hot colors, so the and Jake is definitely like pulling that up, so you guys will see that when you see
Mhm.
the final book colored. But it's kind of like everything goes from cold tones to warm tones. There's sort of like a contrast because the story is kind of like cold to warm. This doesn't make any sense until you have to read it for that I'm not making any sense, but anyways, there are some scenes like that cave scene I'm talking about that's just like snow and it's cold and it's night and it's fucking freezing, it's a blizzard, but there's just blood and it's just like splash of warm. And that's kind
Mhm.
of how I was thinking of it when I was writing it. No,
Yeah.
there bandit slaying, something else slaying.
Mm. Yeah. We're gonna have to wait.
We'll have to wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
And I like to add that the demons, I had so much fun just draw because I love to draw monsters and just freakishly, weird things, so I really enjoy drawing the monster designs in this and stuff because I have like the rib cages busted out with tentacles coming in that panel and like
oh
3 or
yeah,
4 heads and you know.
I love that. I love how you designed that monster. It's always so cool to see someone else's take on not just like a design, but I I recall that Abby told you you can do your own monster design, and you exactly nailed it because it looks like a monster that is from the same kind of general design rules, if that makes sense, because that's what I
Mhm.
was going for. Is because on all these demons, they don't all look the same. They just kind of follow similar rules. It's like
Yeah.
tentacles, all these faces, and like all kinds of like weird anatomy and stuff. So I like that, even though it's one panel here, but
Mhm.
that's enough. I really like how that turned out, and like the way Jay colored it, it pops because it's like
Yes,
bright
definitely.
flashback, and that's
Mhm.
really nice. Mark
Yeah.
and Muth, backer 569. Thank you very much.
Thank
Nice.
you. Yeah.
Yes, nice. Modest. This chapter is very modest. Not only because everybody is a child here, so there's nothing weird going on, just a lot of blood. But
Mhm.
chapter 3. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yes, I am too. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, I just got the thumbnails ready to get some feedback. I've been showing my team, and it's really good. I've been getting a bunch of critique, and I'm
Yeah.
so
Well,
excited.
I'm really curious about who the, main baddie is because I have theories. Like, just based off of chapter 1, I'm like, "Oh," like, I don't know. I'm looking at chapter 1, it's like, "Why is nobody talking about this character in the first, like, 2 or 3 pages?" You know? And then it's like and I'm like,
Mm.
"Nobody's noticing, like, this here and that," I'm like, so and
I
that's just my
wonder.
artistic mind, like, I wonder what's gonna happen, so I'm really looking forward to chapter 3.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if chapter 3 we're going to get to that point, but I've been dropping hints. What I think will be really cool is everything will tie together, because I've laid out a bunch of other stuff in chapter 2, and then chapter 3 is all kinds of other stuff, and it's just one of those things where like it's like all these characters kind of had their own struggles, and then everything with the society and the world building falls together when the villain is revealed. It all makes sense. And there are a couple of backers. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Venezuela was
you.
complimented Fiendish website. Thank you. I put a lot of time into the website, so everyone, I hope you can check it out. Fiendishcomic.com. We have a guest. Good morning. Look who has finally decided to join us.
Speaking of mornings, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I am so freaking sorry.
You made it, Jake.
I was like, you can't be that late, right? Like what? Nearly 2 hours, an hour and a half. That's fine. These things usually go for like 7 billion hours, right? Like these aren't bang crush shows.
Right. It could be worse. Yeah.
Oh no. No, I haven't seen any of the slagging off that might have happened.
Well, Jake, we know that you were working so hard on the colors for this very book that you just
but
exhausted.
I literally was. I was coloring all day, and then I got tired, and then I was like, I'll go for a sleep, and then wake up. What time is it? Nearly it's 4 in the morning. Like to a message saying, "So you good for the show today?" Instant, like, oh no, no. So I changed clothes twice. It did my camera I'm like, no, this shirt isn't good enough. So I'm wearing a bright hoodie that I never wear. But yeah, great.
Thanks for putting clothes on.
Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for giving me an excuse to get dressed. And thank you for letting me color this book. It's been a really fun experience so far. I know you're about to start talking about Fiendish 3. I heard that tidbit, and that's also very exciting. I've been shown a couple of things.
Yeah. And Jake, I couldn't have asked for a better colorist coloring my work, so thank you. So
I don't know what to say to that. Wait a minute. Are there better colorists in the world? No, literally, you couldn't have had a better colorist. No better colorist exists.
I love it. I love the work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, it's great. It's great to color this stuff. Also, it's great to color the amount of layers that you gave me in the with the files to work with means that like I've been able to take because you've almost drawn this like it was a black and white manga. Like you have gray tones in everything, and like Michael's split those up for me to color, so I'm able to make like the gradients and the skies look really nice because I'm not just taking like a flat image and then trying to like in this particular panel with the red sky, like the gradation in the sky was done in grays. And if I had to color that from just a flat file, it would mean I'd have to trace around the trees and trace around the guy's head. It would be a nightmare. But it's actually incredibly fun to do. Like the tree lines in the background, like you gave me those separate. So like I don't have to lasso tool around everything 10 billion times.
Yeah, there's a couple of pages where I'm like, I don't know how the hell Jake's going to color this.
There are a couple of pages like that, yeah, but it's a fun challenge. Like, I like coloring the line art sometimes too, and I've had to resist doing that with this because there's a huge difference with obviously this sounds so obvious once you've said it. There's a huge difference between coloring a cover and coloring a comic page because you can't like use every single gun in your arsenal. You have to be reserved. Like you can't make everything look like a cover because then like nothing would read properly. It would look way too try hard. So yeah, being reserved on the colors has been a challenge too. That's what. But yeah, it's fun to take all these gray tones and then say that's not black, that's a different blue now. And it makes it look really good, even in the basic version. Yeah, look at the sky on the top. Like that was gray. That was a different layer. I'm sure people love hearing about the technicalities of the layers.
Well, I do. Well, let me tell you guys, like comic coloring is its own beast because, as we have all discovered, it's not as simple as like you can be an amazing illustration colorist, but coloring for comics is something else because guess what you have to do? Comics is storytelling, so it's not just the volume. You have a lot to color. Like drawing comics is there's a lot of drawing involved, and you have to stay on model and all this shit and keep track of your shots and your angle choices and consistency. But also with coloring, you have to plan it out like color boards like they have for animation. If you've seen the way Disney and Pixar works, and usually they have this in their art books, of every scene and every location has a color palette, and you have to plan a comic out just like that. And every scene has to be differentiated and it has to read well because comics are all about legibility. So it's a lot of design work and not just filling in the local colors. So colors are there. There's a lot of separation and clarity that you have to take into account. Yeah. And you've been doing a great job. Look at this. Look, 2 different scenes. Very clear.
Well, that is like another well, okay, it's a benefit of this book. It's also a challenge with coloring. And it's like it covers so much ground. It's 24 pages, but it's pretty much the entire backstory of Casimir's growing up and training, right? So it covers a lot of time in his life, and so you jump forward a lot, which I love. I love jump aheads. But yeah, so I bet it was a challenge for Michael because he's having to draw these characters at several different ages, and the characters' clothes are like constantly changing because they're growing up and stuff. So he's having to like, I bet he didn't even have models for everything. Like I bet he had to like half make stuff up half the time.
So what I did was, all right, so Rainey, sent me layouts of how she wants it done. I'm like, okay, this will speed up the process because I find layouts, I work better with that instead of scripts. I could get the job done faster. So I did some sketches on the side, which you guys will probably see in the book, maybe. I had to draw out, okay, he's going to look like this when he's 7, and then when he turns 12, he's going to be dressed like this. I just did some turnarounds and some thumbnails on the side, so when I get to that point, I know exactly how I want them to be drawn. So,
we can show them. Yeah, I'll show those. It'll be in the. I'll show just one page of it. It'll be in the supplementals because I do really like.
There we go. I did these first.
There you go.
Yeah, I did those first before I got onto the pages. So.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, the
medium, big.
See, then there's sometimes where the 16-year-old version is wearing his cape at the same time.
Oh yeah, so.
But and then he's like, but his arms would be blue when he's wearing the cape at the same time version. Sorry, this has been what I've been going through my head.
Are you okay? Are you struggling?
Yeah, it's like he needs the blue. He needs the blue. So his arms are going to be blue when he's wearing this thing. But that doesn't make sense because his arms are supposed to be like light gray when he's wearing that particular outfit.
No, it doesn't have to be. The characters change clothes. I want to be realistic. I hate it when there's series where characters just like wear the same fucking clothes all the time. So I'm determined to not do that. It just makes everybody else's work really hard.
Yeah, they change a lot, and like time periods jump a lot, and scenes that end up being short. And the reason why I brought this whole thing up is because like you change scenes very often in this book. So like sometimes you're changing scenes like a couple of times on a spread. So it's like, how do you make this look like we're jumping between different times and not make it look like you've just thrown the entire color wheel at the page?
Yeah, it's very tricky. I think I look forward to once the book is out and we have everyone some time to read it, which again, I'm glad this is a quick turnaround. So in a few months' time, I'd love to go back and interview both of you on your process again, now that we can reveal more of how it was done, and we can talk about the coloring, because the coloring process has been very interesting as well. This is probably the most involved I've been in the coloring, because my main colorist Nick, I kind of just like let him do whatever, because like I don't know, it's just like I think once you I've worked, this is someone that I worked with for a long time, and I kind of just don't have to explain anything. But working with Jake, it's a learning experience for me too, that I have to actually explain things and plan things out and help, because colorists can't read my fucking mind. So I hopefully haven't been too much of a disaster to work with.
No. See, the thing with Nick is Nick has very strong opinions about about how it should look. About how it should look. So like, yeah, he would look at the pages and go, yeah, he would say it in his mind instantaneously. And for me, I'm like, how do they want it to look? I don't know how they want it to look. I'm not gonna do a good job because I don't know what they want. So I'm like, please tell me. And then you get really
have
good
a different approach. Yeah, you have a different approach. I think with Nick, also because he's been working with me on this project from the beginning. I've known him for so long, so he kind of all knows what I'm going for. But you take the approach of, well, you're looking for and I think it's fine. I think colorists should, if they want to, be an active part of the storytelling, because you're not just here to like fill in the colors. Like, I think that's why colorists in my book get cover credit, because that wasn't always a thing. It's just one of those things where inkers and colorists get shit on so much in comics, but you're part of the storytelling process, especially colorists. Like, a good colorist is worth their money. So
Nick
but
so good.
there are different. He's really good. So I kind of just. So he kind of just like, he's an active part of the storytelling. He already knows he knows what I'm going for, and then he balances that out with the things that he wants to communicate. But the way you approach the colors, I'm where you're asking me what I want. So now I have to think about the colors, because I kind of haven't. I kind of thought about it in very basic terms, like, this guy is a brunette, and then you're like, no, I need to know like what the scene feels like and shit. And I'm like, you feeling. So we have to get through that conversation.
How can a page have feelings, you wimp?
Feelings, ew. So that's been like the past 6 months. But yeah, no, it's been great.
Yeah, and what I really like is, Jake, is how you got the colors to look like it's like similar to the main books. That's what I like.
Well, I have pretty much had like the PDF. I didn't do that on purpose.
Jake, stop thinking about dicks for once.
I didn't do that on purpose. The PDF of Fiendish 2, I've been looking at it like as almost like a guide, not to copy one for one, because then you can't. Then you just make everything look the same. But to see like which colors sit happily with each other, like which, like, for example, you see that blue panel? This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth panel where the guy's getting like necked. Like, that blue's slightly off currently. It's slightly too comic booky blue and not a Fiendish blue. So like, that's already been changed. Like that, and that's from like looking at Fiendish 2 and comparing the colors and thinking which kind of hues and saturations will get picked. So yeah, definitely, I definitely use I like kind of Asian, right?
you kind of do. We're so inclusive today. Sorry, continue.
No, I was done.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah. Well, very
using Fiendish 2 as an eyedropper color guide. Not doing that, but
I see. That's what you're actually doing. Well, the way that you color, especially with what I've seen, I mean, you were also in the Fiendish 2 fan art contest, so that was so cool. I found out about so many awesome artists in the fan art contest, but the way you color normally is like really bright. It's so different.
So yeah, oh god.
Do they know this? Does Irene know the story, Jake?
Tell her the story. Go on.
Yeah. So during the fan art contest, I saw Jake's art and I was like, oh man, this looks really good. And he made the comments like, I'm not sure if I have time to color it. And I just pushed Jake like, no, you could color this. You could do it.
The truth was, I don't know if I can be asked to color this. I'll use time. I'll say, I don't know if I have time. That sounds better than being very lazy. And yeah, you were like, what? No, you should. You should
color it. So I pushed Jake to color it. And then, lo and behold, he's the one coloring my artwork now. Yeah,
he was behind the scenes, even at the contest, like pushing it to be colored. And I was there dragging my feet. I don't know if I wanna, but I'm glad you did, because it looked better than it did before.
Yeah.
And hopefully this still looks just as good colored. by moi. Yeah, now we're joining forces. The fan art contest team.
Yeah,
It was meant
there
to
we
be.
go.
I mean, it's so weird to think of it that way, but I mean, it's a small world, and with chat and just everyone kind of hanging out all the time, and just, and I don't know. I don't know if this happens to other teams, but I think it's wonderful. Like, there's so many people that are creators themselves that are looking to do their own books in chat, and I think that's how we all started out, right? So, wow, I am so lucky. Oh,
No,
I'm glad you guys met, and you guys make a wonderful team. It's so great.
Weren't you suggesting that I color this, by the way, Michael, in the back? Like, or were you just hoping for it? Because I remember when you came to me, you were like, I'm glad, I really wanted you to color it. But I don't know if you'd said anything, but
I didn't. I was like, well, Jake, I hope you color. Yeah, I was hoping you'd color it. So
no.
Oh, so you were whispering, and because Jake was pushing really hard to color for 2.5. We actually had a previous colorist that unfortunately didn't have the schedule. But Jake swooped in, and I was like, he's really enthusiastic about this. So
nice choice of words.
Nice choice of words. You swooped in, but you saved the project by offering your services. I'm so glad. It was all thanks to Michael. It's all thanks to him.
Yay! I saved the day.
I want to show. Let's see. So speaking of fan art, here you go. This is the fan art.
Yeah.
From Michael. This is your colors, but
yes. And looking at it, I wish I would have changed the color of the sky. I was just time constraints because I wanted to get it quickly done. I wanted the sky to be darker, and then I was going to have like off, not seen on the.
Oh yeah, there's a moon and it's daytime. It's blue in the sky. There was okay, right. I'll tell this story. There's a shot where you're like in Fiendish 2.5 where we were looking up through a door, and in the sky, it's the sun, or the moon. Was it the sun? It was the sun. But I was like, it would be really good right now if it was nighttime. Like this, what was happening on the page, there would be like a pathetic fallacy going on if it was like nighttime. So I originally colored it nighttime. I was like, I can try and make this look like a moon if I just do it white. And then I was like, no, come on, Jake. It's obviously a sun. Don't try and pretend the sun is the moon and have the moon out in the daytime. Yeah, changed it.
I mean, the moon can be out in the daytime. I actually don't know what scene you're talking about. You can tell me later. So,
yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
Through the door. Yeah. Michael
through the door. There is only one shot that's through the door, right? Yeah, it has to be through the daytime. The whole point is it's bright outside and it's dark inside. Anyways, talking business. Hey, Jimmy! What's up, Jimmy?
I did it properly before sending it to you, so there we go.
You're absolved. But yeah, lovely work on this. I can't wait to see the finals on this. Jake has been turning in colors a lot recently, and I'm loving how it looks. Because we can't reveal anything because, like I said, it's 25 pages only, and it's like super dense, so everything is fucking spoilery. But one more thing I wanted to shout out about this campaign: we have original art on here, and there's still this one piece that hasn't sold yet. And all the other ones have sold, and I don't know why this one hasn't. But in case, maybe I need to post on Twitter and remind everybody this is still here. But look at all these other... Oh, I took them off, so stupid me. Anyways, I have to scroll down. Here you go. Look at all these original art pieces. We had an auction when the campaign launched, so these are mine. But the three in the middle, these are oversized sketch cards by Michael, and these all sold. They're absolutely gorgeous. And if that other... So we only have like a month left to the campaign, but I like to do more, and the original art is a huge part of this campaign. So if you guys are interested in original art, you can definitely get all these pieces here for much less than an auction and usually anywhere else. So, and Michael's art, like this stuff is really, I have the originals over here. I still have to send them out, but he's been sending them all to me. They look so good in person.
Well, those you have like the character heads there. The one that still people can still get. That's actually, if you scroll back up again, I want to see if you can see if he's like bathed in a certain shadow. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I thought it was from like a key moment in the story, but yeah, you get Octo's shadow there. You will train. You will bleed from the mouth. You will become a man.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll beat
Yeah.
the shit out of you. That's half the bug. Is little kid getting the shit beaten out of him.
Yep. Then I have like the little rock right there. It looks like his eye. That's in the grass.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, that's genius. My God. That's great. No, I love it. I mean, if you guys don't want it, I'm gonna buy it, but I'm trying to be nice.
I could keep it, but I guess you could buy it.
I could, yeah. I mean, I could keep it if I'm just being generous. These are big too. There's like 5x7.
What's it? 8x6.
8x6, yeah. So they're not small. They're nice size. You can frame it and everything. So check it out, guys. And also, Michael says Michael's art is good. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Michael is here to watch Michael bleed. There is a lot of blood. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This campaign will be up 37 days, a little over a month, because I already set it to end at the end of February, because that's the time where we want to start going to print. I already have the lettering all done, and we should have the colors done by that point, so it's going to be a quick turnaround, and delivery is by April, so I'm hoping that you guys are really happy with the schedule for this, and I'm so glad that we can just get the story out with a quick turnaround time this time, and then we can so I don't have to hold on to spoilers forever, and we can come back and talk about the production process in depth for a second part of the show. That'd be great.
Hell yeah. I just realized that the size of those pieces is the same size as these that I usually do, like the half A4. Like, this is how big they are. This is gone a lot on this show. Like, this is half of this is how big those originals are. They're not like trading cards like would usually be this size. They're like big half A4 pieces. So they're like this big. Not the whole thing, half of it. So that big. That's how big they are. So,
yeah.
Actually, I have them. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I should just go.
Yeah, show them. See that.
Stupid me. I should just see them right here.
Yeah, she has the whole time.
Yeah.
You just show them.
Oh, silly me. Here you go. Okay.
Michael Bancroft says Jake's inks make me smile. They look even better in person.
Yeah.
Aww.
I looked back at my I forget things. I have a really bad memory, so I'll like put stuff away and I'll come back and look at it and be like, "This is good." So through this, I'll be like, "Oh, I did that. I'm not that bad after all."
But you don't remember the stuff that you yourself
Some stuff,
drew?
yeah, some stuff, because I'll draw so quickly sometimes too, and I'll just like put it away.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, we have totally opposite working styles. I'm trying to be careful.
I need to go slower like you. Maybe my stuff will look really good.
I don't know. I need to go faster. I just need to have less other shit to do so I can draw all the time.
Yeah, to draw art as good as Irene, all you have to do is make your eyeball touch the page whilst drawing it and go at like 0.01.
Oh,
look at that!
yeah.
Look at that! Look at that!
Look, these are huge. These are not like little trading cards. This is gigantic. And look how
huge.
This is absolutely fucking beautiful in person.
Now I want it even more. I wanted these when they were on the page, but now I'm seeing them on camera. I want them even more. There's white out on them.
Yeah.
So jealous.
Yeah. Love using the white gel pen.
There he is. Alex stole that one from under my nose. He got that instantly.
That's probably my favorite out of all of them.
He's like, he has like #1 backer superpowers or something. I don't even know how many. No, he's like the first backer on so many campaigns. He's just.
Oh no, like, he got the Ragnar one. He didn't get Octa.
Oh really?
Oh really?
Oh,
what?
Oh, I don't know who got.
Yeah, who got Octa?
Yeah. No, it's pronounced Octa.
Yeah, it is. Octa. Here's this fucker. Who the fuck this is?
Yeah.
You don't have the piece with you that's actually on sale to show.
I do. Give me a second. I want to show the other ones too. I really like the demon one. So I'm showing
yeah, you have those?
Yeah, here. This one. Yeah.
Ooh, still in the plastic.
Yeah, I don't want to unwrap it, but without, let me try to not glare it. There you go.
Poor little guy with a scar on his arm.
Yep. Look at him.
As he grew up, I know there's probably no answer to this. Did his scars like stretch out, or did they stay the same?
Well, they'd stretch out. That's how scars work.
So they get like less predominant because they're being stretched out, like as if you're stretching a drawing on a piece of fabric and it like goes like see-through-ish or not.
Yeah, and they fade, like scars fade in time. But his scars are a little different.
They're really bad scars.
That's all.
They're not like the other scars.
These scars are much worse.
These are edgy scars, don't you know? And here's this one. I don't know who this is. A mysterious, strange character that
should have got it.
Back up sometime. Anyways, these are amazing. There's only this one piece left, so if you guys want original art, go to the campaign on Fun My Comic, or you can just go straight to FIENDISHcomic.com because the campaign is mirrored over there, and they have this original art piece. And also get the comic before it's too late. It'll only be up for 1 month. Oh my gosh, 1 more month. Ding. Dango Solo wants that one. Well, all of these are sold except for this.
Yeah, buy that one.
Yeah, this is the only one you can get. So you're gonna have to charge to the campaign page to nab that one now.
Yep. And as soon as that one sells, I might make some more.
Yes. I would absolutely love that. That would be great. It's all my scars are from wounds that barely bled. What? I think I have like these bicycle scars here. Oh, you can still see it. I remember this was like a huge gash. I was like bleeding profusely and I was completely unperturbed. I was just like, oh, whatever. Everybody else is freaking out except for me. I don't know. I'm not very bothered by blood.
I have a scar. I have a Harry Potter scar on my head that isn't like as bloody and red.
Oh my god! You're proper Brit. You're Harry Potter scar.
Mine's not from like an evil wizard. It's from when like I was I was like a total Simpsons moment. I was just like a kid swinging my head around, going whoa, whoa. And then like there was some wood with like a corner, and I went whoa and whacked my head right on the fucking corner of the wood. Went to the hospital and got some glue poured in it. But yeah, I think that's the only scar I have. I got this. I got birthmarks. You guys got birthmarks? Should we delve into the world of various blemishes? No.
Yeah, let's learn all about Jake's all the weird stuff that Jake has smacked his head into.
Do Harry Potter stuff.
Today's show. There's a couple of chats I wanted to star and address. John Voices. Just order your completest campaign. Thank you so much. I assume you mean the completest tier on this campaign, which is right here, which you can get Fiendish 1, 2, and 2.5 all at a discount, all bundled together if you want to get caught up on the series. And by the way, my campaign covers are campaign exclusive, so if you have noticed, Fiendish 1 and 2, these covers are the permanent covers. So the campaign covers, I have a bunch of variants, but after the campaigns are over, I have like a permanent print cover, and that's just going to be like the one cover for all the future campaigns and store sales. So that's Fiendish 1 and Fiendish 2 in the middle, and then the 2.5 campaign cover. And
I love that Fiendish 2 cover. I love that cover.
I'm
the purple one.
Because the absolute brain mashing I went through to figure that one out, but I'm glad.
After seeing my colors, you might have realized I like the combination of purple and red. Yes, I have noticed that very much. But yeah, so that also means the campaign covers on here are campaign exclusive, so you better get it now while you still can. And Andy Dalif asked me, can we get a page of your language work in Fiendish 3? Love the linguistic aspect you are considering in the series. So, fun fact, all the Fiendish books have a language page at the back. And I'm going to show you, because listen, I put a lot of thought into this stuff. Okay, here's my Fiendish 1 and Fiendish 2. Let me show you real quick. So, I'm encouraging maximum nerdery with my books. All right, so with Fiendish 1, in case you guys didn't know, I have made a constructed language for this series, and not only are the sound effects in Nanarsa, which is my constructed language, so let me try to find a page. There's in Fiendish 1, there's like this page where, this like sound effects are in Nanarsa. You can see at the top there and all that stuff.
And here's a little more. But at the back of the books, because sometimes the characters speak in Nanarsa. And I kind of started out going pretty light with that, but as the series progresses, there's more and more Nanarsa. There's a glossary at the back. So here's the phonetic alphabet, and then I also have logographs. So basically, this is like the hiragana and katakana, and this is like the kanji. The writing system is a merge between logographic and phonetic, so that's to help you figure out. And like, I always have the alphabet, but also you can slowly learn the logographs as they're revealed in the writing. And I have a glossary, so even though the characters are speaking in Nanarsa in the text, you can flip it back and you don't have to be like, what the fuck is she saying? Why did she put this in here? This is not a fucking human language in reality. This is stupid. You can always go to the back, but here is if it'll fucking focus. There you go. A page from Fiendish 1 where Ragna is speaking. She's just talking to herself, but Nanarsa is a clerical language and also the native language of the Ispoliad, because it's descended from Virasa, which is Vyra was this Ispolin empire way in the past, kind of like this grand empire that the Ispolin ruled, and the Ispolin are the ancestor to Ispoliad. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining it. It's a whole bunch of like world building lore that I can get into if you want, but probably not right now anyways. Most Ispoliad, which is the race that Ragna is, they speak Nanarsa as their mother tongue. And in chapter 2, I also have Nanarsa in the back, so here you go. This is why I want the books to be ready. You should read the books, and you should look at all the glossaries and all the extra content, because I have like all kinds of cool shit.
I like how it makes the sound effects look like Japanese. Sound effects always look great in manga when it's all written in big Japanese characters. So then in Fiendish, because you have your own language, with all the sound effects written in it, it makes it look like that cool.
That's something I was definitely a little nostalgic of, because I remember growing up with manga, and it never really bothered me that I couldn't read the sound effects, because it was so I would read manga in Chinese, but they left the sound effect in Japanese. They never translated sound effects. So I was like, it never bothered me because the letters were shaped in a way where, right, you can almost hear the sounds just from the way the letters are drawn. So I'm like, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going for immersion and high commitment. I want the story to be dense and immersive, and I want you to have to pay attention to every page, because this is definitely not light entertainment. And that's just something that I want to create, because I feel like there's not a lot of people creating this kind of fantasy with comics. But yeah, so there you go. That's the
well, I mean, Andy asking about Fiendish 3 related to language. If possibly in a comic where maybe you made like a feature of someone's handwriting, possibly in a future book that could be Fiendish 3, would that all be written? Because, you know, if you have something that focuses on something someone has like written as they're talking about something that's happening, would that all be in Nanarsa? Do you know the moment I'm talking about?
I'm debating right now how much of my sanity am I willing to sacrifice.
I wondered if you'd even thought about that.
I have, because there is already something like that in the book of Fiendish 3, and that item that you're talking about, I have thought of recreating it, and I'm like, I think I would, I don't know. I think I would have it in Nanarsa, because
you'd have to. So like, there's a potential in Fiendish 3. There's like almost a handwritten narration of something that's happening, and it would all have to be in Nanarsa. So you'd have this whole sequence where people are like, what's actually happening? And it is being told, but it's all in Nanarsa.
Yeah, you guys don't, like, nobody understands what we're talking about right now, but basically, in Fiendish 3, there are characters that write stuff in the story, and in the comic panels, we see the characters, like, basically taking notes and shit, and I may or may not have a replication of that as, like, an add-on item, or a fun little thing where you actually get, like, the character's notes with the comic, and I'll have to write it in Nanarsa in reality, so let's go. Yay! Alex VRB for $5. Thank you so much. So if you have a typo in your Nanarsa, you would call that Clerical error. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Well,
spoilers. No, not really.
Yeah, and Murray says shop talk boring. I didn't know what to. I wanted to hint to Ira. It's not shop talk. It's like talking about stuff that happens in Fiendish 3. So I was like, I'm just gonna hint at this, and then she can actually reveal as much as she wants to reveal.
Yeah, whatever. It's a small reveal, but compared to the other shit that's in Fiendish 3, it's not that much reveal. Down goes Soul for $5. Thank you so much. You're all out of originals on your campaign. Can I have first dibs on the next batch? Oh, did that sell? Let's refresh. Did he sell? Let's see. Dun dun dun. Down goes Soul to shop talk is boring. I understand that shop talk can sometimes be boring, but you know, I can't help myself. Like you know how this channel is and how we are. We get carried away talking about crap because all I want to do is talk comics. That's what I'm here for, and I can't fucking help myself.
Yeah, it's all you got it.
Yeah, we got it. Oh my gosh, we got so many backers. We got a whole bunch. Thank you guys so much.
Yay!
Yeah! Holy shit! Oh my gosh, thank you. Did the original sell?
It did. Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, already got some ideas for some more, so I'll get cranking on them.
Yes, nice. Awesome. Hopefully, we can get some more of those original pieces on the campaign, and there's only 1 month left, but that'll be your time frame. That'll be your chance to get original art from Michael. And as soon as those are done, I post on Twitter, let everybody know, and you don't want to miss out on those. Yeah.
Yay.
I'm so glad. Thank you guys so much. Michael wants to talk about CMYK levels.
I've been thinking about that today.
You and Jake can get into that on another stream because I'm not going to continue with that right here.
I've been thinking about if I've chosen the right blacks and if I should just be going to, I don't know. The files aren't even in CMYK yet. They're called in RPG. They call it in RPG. They call it in a rocket launcher.
Color in RGB, and then you convert to CMYK, Jake.
Yeah.
You know, even I do the same thing, but just let me change.
You do. I know. I'm like, wait a minute. Have I fucked up here? Like, I swear you do the same thing.
I do that. Yeah, I do that at my day job too. All my design work I do in RGB, then I convert it to CMYK.
Well, I mean, so I'm coloring it in Clip Studio on an iPad Pro, so I can color it anywhere. Like, I can color while I'm at my mom's. I can color, like, while I'm in the living room. I can color at this desk while everyone's hanging out. And, yeah, they don't have CMYK in Clip Studio. It's all RGB only.
Interesting.
You should color in RGB.
Well, the colorists that I've worked with previously, well, the ones that are, I guess, taught traditionally, like go to comic school taught, and I was taught, well, you have to color in CMYK so you know how it looks from the start. But then after I graduated, I started working in animation and gaming and doing concept art. So I would color in RGB and then convert to CMYK and then tweak it until it looked good if I had to. So that's how I work now. But in like comic school, they teach you to color in CMYK. I don't think you have to.
They didn't even teach us how to color in my comic school. Like, you went to proper comic school. I went to fake comic school.
I went to comic school, guys. I went to comic drawing school.
In my comic school, I ended up teaching everyone Photoshop because the person teaching us Photoshop didn't really know how to teach it. They would just explain everything in confusing ways, and I'm like, guys, don't worry, just do it this way. And I give them the real secrets, like slipped under the table. Don't tell her she's full of shit.
Don't worry, RGB CMYK preview. Yeah, you just Photoshop Control Y. It's very easy.
That's correct, Michael. Yeah.
I actually had a really good coloring teacher, or just digital coloring teacher. My sequential art professors were all really good. It was the sort of like the basic ed, or what are the freshman ed classes that are completely fucking useless. Like, I didn't need drawing too. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be full of myself. I didn't need drawing too. I wanted to get to the comic classes, you know, and it's like they wasted 2 years of your time.
She's like, I know how to draw.
I did.
You think you can tell me how to draw better? Like, really?
No,
Wow.
that specific class I didn't need for like environmental perspective. At that time, that's something that I wanted to learn and I needed more of that. But they didn't teach that until much further on in the courses. So it's just that's how school is, though. That's how like art school, a lot of colleges are, make you take all these like useless classes. But anyways.
Yeah, I mean the one of the biggest things. I mean, I learned all the color palette stuff in color theory before, like, oh god, if I hadn't learned that in college before university, like, then I'd be screwed. But like we had a really good like college course just before uni, and like we pretty much learned everything you'd want to learn multimedia wise for then, especially color theory. And like one of the most important things learning coloring, it's not, the palettes are great and stuff, and knowing like which colors are complementary, which are analogous, which ones look good together. But it's one of those things that sounds really obvious once you hear it, but contrast, drawing attention. Like you'll have contrast of detail in line art, right? Like you'll draw stuff that isn't important more simply. You won't put detail everywhere because then the reader won't know where to look. And like the eye would get drawn between contrast between detail, contrast between the black and the white, and like it also gets drawn by the color choices you make, like the contrasting colors but also contrasting tones of the color. And so you could have something in the background that would be like a lantern or a light, and because you don't want it to be the eye to be drawn there, you almost wouldn't color it super bright like a lantern would look in the background. You'd like make it purposefully dim. And then you'd also find ways to like make a character that's covered in like 7 different browns, try and figure out how to make them have more contrast in them so that they can draw the eye, which is, difficult. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but maybe nobody else does. But I do. I sympathize. This is why I don't do interior colors, because I'm slow as shit. And people who are, you need an eye for colors. I mean, I'm really impressed by good colorists. It's building those palette libraries and just having a good eye for what to do. And I think like my problem is I always experiment. I don't really like always know what to do right from the start. But I think a lot of people, and I think Jake, you have a little bit of that too. You'll go in kind of knowing what palette to use, especially if you're like now you're trying to emulate a palette that fits Fiendish, but for your own work, you have like a really good sense of colors. Like I've seen Carnal, I've seen like all your other work, so that's really important as a colorist.
Yeah, it's so different coloring someone else's stuff because obviously they have a different feeling to their work. When you're coloring yourself, it's super easy because you've kind of been imagining the colors whilst drawing it. And yeah, like you said, my stuff ends up being very vibrant, and I love color so much. But yeah, trying to learn how to be subtle, to take the saturation down but still make interesting choices has been a fun kind of like challenge with this.
Yeah. Okay. And you have been doing great.
People should see how bright and vibrant the first versions of these pages were.
That maybe we can pull that up when we do the whole full process stream after the book is out. It was hilarious actually, because it was like Jake's regular coloring style is really bright, so the first pass of this looks like the room was like on fire.
The room was on fire.
It was like the whole thing was so bright. It looked like the house was burning down like Jake.
But I thought it was like a metaphor. I thought it was a metaphor for like them meeting each other and like all this energy being there. And they like Jake, it looks like that.
It's a little light fire is enough. You just a little light the whole fucking thing on fire. But that looks great now. But yeah, OJW Learning says I make things too extreme. Yeah, that is something I always thought. Go too far and then pull back. That's
I call that find the line. Like the sweet spot, the Goldilocks zone for anything, you could tweak and tiptoe towards it, and you could never cross the line and find the sweet spot. But if you go too far, you very quickly find the line in many different situations in life.
That's true. Push those lines.
Like, how many jokes can this guy take? I go just say one joke too far. Now I found the line. Now he wants to beat me up.
That's how Jake lives, right on the edge.
Past the edge, purposefully, then tiptoeing back, saying, sorry, I didn't mean it.
all the time. But we love it. One last thing about this campaign, before we wrap up and get everybody promoted and all that stuff, is the stretch goals are out there. We're gunning for our next stretch goal of 28K, which is a free bookmark for all backers. And I have a really cool idea for the bookmark. It's not just going to be like a boring bookmark at all. I have an item in the story that I can make into like a custom shaped bookmark. Hopefully it's going to be really cool. I think I'm sure you guys are going to love it. And ideally, I'm hoping we get to 30K, which is the point at which all backers get a free print of the Casimir and Ragna piece, which is this one on the top left that everybody really, really liked, of them lying in the grass as teenagers, and I'm going to color it up and make it a print, and everybody's going to get it for free if we hit 30K. So that's my hope. In the next month we can get to that. That'll be super awesome, because I really want to give you guys that item. And yeah, thank you guys for backing this campaign today. I wasn't expecting to get so many backers, but we got the original art piece sold, which is great. I'm so excited for that, because finally it's been sitting there forever, and I'm like, why aren't people buying it? Because it's so beautiful. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You're awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. Let me
imagine Irene. I don't think I'm going to sell any of my own book to my own audience that's here for my book if I do a promotion about my book. That's just not going to happen.
Like, I'm really bad sometimes at just like talking about stuff about promoting. But what I mean is, like, I figured, people that have seen the book or wanted it back probably had already, but you never know. And clearly there's always people out there that hadn't seen the project, because this is, I guess, usually my Wednesday shows are promoting other campaigns, and this is the first time we've done like a Fiendish promotional campaign since the launch. So I'm really glad we got to do this, and I got to talk to both of you, because it's not like I'm interviewing myself. I'm talking to you guys are the artists, and you're part of the team, and we got to know your process and who you are. So I'm super stoked that we got to do this show today.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah, the retrospective is going to be interesting, and only a month. I can't believe it's only a month to go.
Yep.
So soon, and like people get it while you can. Only a month left.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Quick turnaround. It's the way to go.
Yep. So.
All right. Couple more things. Everyone go sign up for this. This is Jake's book.
Yeah, speaking of really, really bright over-the-top colors that still seem to work nicely. Look, I love colors. It's just totally Futurama colors. It's just Futurama. I just have Futurama.
They just came on here to yell, I love
colors.
And,
and while we're on Carnal, Jake, I swear to you, this right here.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this, I promised you that I was going to send these to you in the mail.
Look, so those are the two characters. I think she features prominently in the second book. And like it's all, if I end up using these for trading cards, you'd have the Connell one as like the issue 1 trading card, then she would be the second one. Yep. Yes, I'm so happy. They look beautiful.
So those are going in the mail tomorrow to you, Jake. And
yes,
because it took so long, I felt bad. I drew you something.
Wait. We gotta go over this. So he drew one thing, which is already amazing, and then he's like, that took too long, so I'm gonna draw a second thing. So like the drawing of Meat, the block, the babe on that was already a drawing he did because he felt bad that it had taken so long to already give me the art that he already drew of his own accord for free. And now he's like, now that's taken too long to send. He's about to show something else he's drawing to make up for
so here's late. It's this.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! Oh my holy shit! Oh holy shit! That's amazing! Look at that! Look at the little hedgehog on my head! Oh my god! Holy shit! What the fuck? Phil looks so cool looking narwhal with his like hat on a hoodie with like several layers of warm clothing on top of each other.
It's so narwhal. Wait. So Michael showed this to me before we started. I was like, narwhal looks like Miyazaki's half West, half American son or something. The beard and the glasses.
That is so fucking cool.
That's fucking amazing. We have to have this on the show. This has to be an opening.
That has to be the thumbnail art.
Yeah.
For a
notice the lettering too.
Yeah, I've got it scanned in, so I'll send it to you guys.
Yes.
But this is going to you, Jake. So this will be in the
Yeah, I get to have it. Haha, screw all you guys. I'm the one ruining it by looking at the camera, and I get to have it.
So I was explaining this to my wife. Like, Rainy is the heart of the creative block, where Narwhal's the soul, and Hill keeps it cool. And I said Jake is the sex appeal. So
I was like, Jake's the wild card, but no.
Yeah. I was thinking wild card. He brings the retardation, but no.
Well, and because she's like, why do they all have a side profile and Jake's the only one?
Because he doesn't. He's been
so much.
Jake's the one who didn't do as he was told and didn't look to the side.
Yeah. So I'm glad you like it, and that's for you, Jake.
I absolutely love it. You got everyone to look like themselves too, which is not easy.
Oh, that's absolutely whoa! We're so big. Okay.
But yeah, back my comic. By the way, that was my comic that she had up. Yes. Go there and sign up to it. Yeah, this is Connell the Barbarian. This is my comedic fantasy, and I put this on hold so I could color Fiendish 2.5. And which I'm very glad to do because I want that Fiendish 2.5 to look amazing as I can possibly color it, because it already looks amazing. The artwork, the thumbnails were already fantastic. Like, everyone is really firing on all cylinders with this, and I wanted to fire along with them. But yeah, as soon as this is all wrapped up, within a month, oh my god, only a month to go, I'll be starting on my own adventure, which is this. So if you like fantasy and Fiendish, but are like, why can't it just be ridiculous and like funny and totally not serious? Which is not something that your audience probably ever wants. They probably love the high effort seriousness of all the world building. But yeah, it follows the adventures of the titular Connell as he inserts himself into yet another adventure, protecting the Simonium Forest, his sleepy, restful home from an invasion of big booty bitches known as the Blocks. And in the first issue, we'll discover what his magical secret power ability is that no one knows what it is.
I can't wait for this book.
You've read it too. Michael's read it too.
Yes, it is one of my most anticipated books to come out. I love it. It's so good.
It's all about the build. It's all about the foreplay. It's all about the anticipation. So and this book has had a very long. Nice and
lubed up for your comic book right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get lubed up by going to connellcomic.com and putting your email address in the field. And if you do, and then if you sign up and back the book later, you will get a wonderful trading card drawn by Irene herself.
Yeah. And what I love about it is it reminds me of back in the day, Marvel published a Gru.
I love that even you're mentioning that. Everyone mentions Gru. I have him around. Like, I had no idea who that was, and then checked it out.
Yeah, it's a more raunchy Gru, but but it reminded me of that. So
if people don't know what Gru is, that is basically another guy that enters situations and ruins them constantly. And like it is kind of like what Connell does. Like, you would think the hero is saving the day, not ruining the day. But yeah, in Connell, the hero is clutching defeat from the jaws of success. How about that?
I love it. I have yet to read the current draft, but the draft I did read was already hilarious.
The draft I read I love it. It's great.
Cool. Yeah, I can't wait to start drawing it. As soon as I've finished coloring this, I'm going to start working on it, and I'll be drawing this on some draw streams. Finally, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be 50 pages, which is the first. It's like the first of 3 parts. So the overall story will be across 3 books, and then there'll be more in the future. But yeah, 3 50-page books. So yeah, sign up. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome. And also go follow Michael on Twitter. I have your Twitter handle in the description. but
Well,
here is
there's
our
Travis's cover right there.
Oh, there! Yeah.
That looks so good. I like the coloring
Oh,
on
I
that
gotta find
too.
it. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the
Awesome
red?
work.
What does the red go with the sword? That's nice. What
Oh,
is
that's
that?
Kurt. That's I just did that as a fan art for Travis. I was like, hey, I just feel like drawing the character, so just did that for him.
That's kind of like a cool cover too. That looks great.
Yeah. Wanted to
that's
show
great.
like the reflections her as a child, and she basically lost her innocence, and now she's like this pissed off woman ready to kill everybody. So
That's got to get used. That's got to get used as art for something. You know what? I'll ask what no one is asking, which I'm sure the audience want to know.
Mhm.
Are you thinking of doing your own book, Michael?
Yes. I've got some ideas that I want to do. It's probably a fantasy comic that I've been working on for a while. As soon as I'm done with, I'm going to be drawing Seekers 2 for Patrick. And as soon as I'm done with that, then I'm going to focus all my energy into that. So,
Do you have like a name for it yet, or some
oh,
like final
it's
decisions?
it's the Dark Moon Saga. Actually, if you scroll down in the in the Instagram, I've got some art in there of it. Keep going. Oh, there's Billy Tucci. Let's see.
Hey, the Tooch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep going. It's like
Oh, baby.
it's way down. Like,
Oh dear. Oh,
yeah.
fuck off.
You're not
Oh,
allowed to
sure.
scroll too far, lady.
I can't. I'm not signed in.
Wow.
Okay.
See if you can beat it. Do it
See
so
if you can
fast
beat it.
that it can't catch you.
No!
Oh,
Don't let me.
Well, the reason why I was asking is like, if you have like a name and you have some artwork, you should totally get a sign up going.
Yeah.
Because I wish we could mention his sign up right now for it. Because not only is he doing work for other people, Michael's going to end up putting out his own book, and I bet it's going to look effing amazing. And I wish people could sign up for that right now.
Yeah. Let's see. I've got. Can I show something here? Let's see.
Ask your boss if you can show your own stuff.
Yeah. Like this here.
I remember you did show something. I don't remember.
It's.
Oh yeah.
Wait, are these from your book?
Yes.
Yeah. Just make a sign up. Have these pieces of artwork on the. You could do it right now. Oh my god, you should have had that ready. Yes, just make a sign up with those in the logo and some text. Yes, do it.
I've got logos and
they look beautiful.
Like, and of course I love you got ghosts, phantoms, and
you've got plenty of artwork to make a sign up page. I wish we could be promoting it right now. Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Make a sign up. We'll promote it when we do a second round of this.
We'll promote it on Creative Block as well. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Those look amazing. That's one of the girl ones. Your Twitter banner, right?
Yeah, it's on my Twitter banner. Well, she was. It's wanted to promote more 2.5, so I replaced it. But yeah, she was the girl on my Twitter banner. So
yeah, people are saying looks great. You're gonna get signups. People want it.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah, see that? I love how it says like right there, the Dark Moon Saga coming soon. It's been coming soon for like 5 years now.
Oh, I mean, I literally have a video game on Steam that isn't released, and I keep having to go into Steam and change the release date to be a year in the future every time it gets close to release. I have a friend messaging me saying, "Isn't your game's coming out soon?" I'm like, "No, it bloody isn't." I'll change the date. So yeah, I know what you mean about coming soon for many years.
Yeah,
it happens. But you'll get there. You'll get there.
Oh yeah.
But for now, seeing he doesn't have a sign up, go over to his Instagram, and it's the same on Twitter, right? Or there's no underscore on Twitter?
Yeah, MR Sketches with a 5 at the end. So
I don't think. Do you have the underscore on Twitter?
I don't think the underscore's on Twitter.
No underscore. But it's like you'll see. It's the same art style. I think you have the same picture. So yes, definitely go follow him on Instagram and Twitter, so you don't miss out when the sign up for his book comes out in I'm sure a month, 2 months, whenever we do this, and we'll promote the heck out of that.
Tomorrow. Do it tomorrow.
Now.
Where's the whip sounds? Do I have them? Is that a whip?
Oh boy.
Yeah. And I think I
There you go.
posted them on my DeviantArt too, but I rarely go there now. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, most people have abandoned their DeviantArts.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you get a sign up, we will pimp the shit out of that. Because you already have all the art, you should definitely have a sign up page up.
Well, I've got a ton of art.
You need the darkmoonsaga.com.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get all that figured out.
I love that name as well. Jake, stop whipping your friends. Yeah, well, that's what we put up with all the time. All the time. These monsters said, will you promote my book? Yes, of course. Just DM me on Twitter. I have some openings still for the promo show, which is this show, for the next 2 months still open. So let me know. Well, all right. This was fantastic. Thank you guys again. This was a great talk. I can't believe it was already 2.5 hours. I thought it was like we're just in like 2 hours.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
No, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah,
having shown up halfway through, obviously.
Yeah, well, Jake's been here for about 30 minutes, so thank you for showing up, Jake. And thank you for being here the whole time, Michael. I really appreciate it. This was wonderful, and I can't wait to do a part 2 of this. Once again, everybody, go follow everybody on the Twitters and sign up for Jake's campaign and follow Michael on Instagram, and also subscribe to me if you haven't yet. Hit like and follow me on Twitter. I'm everywhere. Rainy Draws everywhere. And back Fiendish 2.5 if you haven't yet. This will be fulfilling soon. Can't wait to show you guys. And that's about it. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Creative Block. Whose channel is it on?
Yay.
Bill?
Novels. We're closing out Hotel Story, and he's doing a presentation that he's been sitting on for a bit that he's been excited about. So yeah, tomorrow's going to be an amazing Creative Block episode on Novels channel as we close out Hotel Story.
Oh yeah! All right, Creative Block at 10 o'clock Eastern on Narwhals, and then I'll see you guys next week for another Hellion Art Show episode. Bye, y'all. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
See ya. Don't want to be ya.
Bye. I can't find the outro.